Oh, what is up, guys? What is up, my beautiful gemstones? I am so used to being on the screen that I forgot again that I was live because I wanted to show you guys the background. You're going to hear some talking in the background for probably like the next 45 minutes. It won't be anything super loud, but just until RJ goes to bed. I'm at my mom's house doing the stream. It's so good to see you guys, and thank you for joining us tonight. If it gets too loud in the background, guys, and it really starts to like be annoying or bug you, just let me know and I'll go let them know. But other than that, I hope that everyone had a fantastic week. I'm going to bring in Ghost Dragons and I'll be right back.
Hello, everybody. I was trying to get everybody things ticking. Hey, Casey, how are you doing, dear? Let her take care of the noise factor. But we're all good. I hope everybody's good.
Okay, sorry, because it was just, okay. So good to see you guys, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really am happy you guys are here. I had a pretty good week myself, got a lot done, as most of you can see with the books. Campfire 1 is already out. Campfire 2 is up for pre-order. And yeah, it's just been a really good week. It is really fulfilling for me to be able to put out so much content. It's been taking me like a year to a year and a half between. Now my mom just keeps shushing him over and over again. It's been taking me like a year to year and a half between books, and throughout those years, ever since really before my first book even came out, I've been compiling encounters. So these books are really special, and I can't wait to make them correspond with a video series on my channel. So sorry, I know that was a really weird intro. I had forgot that I hit live. I had stuff going on in the background, but don't worry, it's going to be a great night. I've got on my Gemma Jade tank top, the haunted house image, which Arisha over at Jive Creations is redoing all of the images. They're very different, but they're really awesome. Same concepts. And once those are done, there's going to be hats and other things too. We're trying to make the merch, I guess, more appealing for people to want to wear and represent as clothing. And yeah, I didn't get my What Would Ben Do shirt yet, so I'm just going to go with my own merch until I do. And if I can't get one off the internet, I'm just going to have Arisha make me one. And again, because I'm on a table, every time I put my arm down, the camera will shake a little bit. But this is what I can do if I want to do this stream on the weekends. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background, guys, a lot of big, exciting changes, and then a lot of things that are really not so great that we're kind of trying to work within and around. So this stream, you know, may end up only being a twice a month stream from now on, or we may end up having to do it over on Rumble. With me losing my writing contract and YouTube being my only income besides royalties every 6 months for books, you know, I may have to make some changes, but I'm hoping that I don't have to. And I hope that we can continue to go as we are. And in the summer, I may even be able to go back to every Wednesday. So lots of exciting things, lots of annoying things, but that's life. Let me say hi to everybody. Mama Cindy Lee, what is up, lady? So good to see you. Blue Crossroads. Get something to eat and settle in. Miss Paranormal Pixie, Josephine, good to see you, ladies. Mike Roberts is exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. Hi, Miss Casey. Mark Halstead, what is up? Aunt Edna. Yeah, I'm visiting Aunt Edna, still helping my mom move every other weekend. She's not going to be here much longer. She's actually coming up north to live closer to where I live. So it's going to be really cool because we're going to have her only 15 minutes away.
Well, Bat Mom.
Roger Blair, Nicole Perrone, Bat Mom. All right, cool. Very, very cool. So I didn't bring as many decks as I usually have out, but I've been trying to kind of downsize with the decks too. I feel like there's just so much of a selection for me. Sometimes I go a little bit bonkers. My son in his mouth. A little bit bonkers trying to be like which deck. So I have about 10 really good decks here, maybe 12. So with that being said, why don't we just get started? Exhausted. And then, yeah, I've got the video out of the deaths in ufology. It's volume 2 because I put a video out about the same thing a few weeks ago or a couple months ago. What's up, Nutslap? So this is volume 2, and then I'm currently editing for members only more pale crawlers, but these ones are a little different. Some of them aren't pale at all. Some of them were caught mid-transition. Some of them have glowing red and or yellow eyes. Very strange pale crawler encounters.
The
So
pale crawlers I've seen always had yellow eyes.
I wanted to get your guys' take on that. Yeah, as far as what I was used to with pale crawlers is the reflectionless black kind of pits. I've never heard of them having colored eyes before.
Yeah, the ones I've seen, they all had yellow eyes.
There was a lot of differences in these particular encounters. One of them was thought to be caught mid-transformation. The person thought they may have been looking at a man transitioning to a werewolf and caught them at the very second that they were in the air looking like a pale crawler. But then the pale crawler disappeared into a tree and a gigantic owl flew out. So it was, yeah, very weird. So you guys are going to want to definitely check that out. So with that being said, let's get started. Let's jump right in here.
And the first one is Cindy Lee.
All right, Mama Cindy. I'm going to use Raven's Wand. Oh, Mark, that's so good. I hope everything went well. I hope you had a great time. Mama Cindy, stepping away. And you did get it in the reversed. The stag's antlers blend seamlessly with the trees, just as Cerelia's dress cascades luxuriously over the rocks and roots. Even her ceremonial body paint makes her seem to melt into the forest. Concrete and steel dominate our everyday environments, but let's not forget our origins. Remember to spend time in green places. So I do feel like, Mama Cindy, this is you getting back to not only nature, but you getting back to something that's like your roots. So I believe that you could be, kind of from what I'm seeing, it looks a little strange to me, but it's like you revisiting something you have long ago given up on. So whether that's a relationship, a friendship, a kinship, whether it's, you know, you gave up the idea of writing a novel 15 years ago and decided it was never going to happen. Now suddenly that idea, that drive to do that is coming back to you and for you. There is something like that going on for you, not just in the next week or two, but I feel like by the end of February, you will have rekindled some sort of idea, some sort of relationship. There's something here I'm seeing from the past, but I don't necessarily see it as like a person or, again, a relationship coming in. I feel like it's more of an idea, something that you decided not to do, that you've given up on, or, you know, something to that effect. What I would say here is to make sure that you spend time being grounded, connecting to the earth, connecting with your guides to see which direction you want to take this in this time, so that even if whatever it is that you're doing isn't a commercial success, so to speak, you don't have to live any more time as you've been living, regretting the decision to not do it, right? So now it's like, at least you're doing it to whatever degree. Do it, enjoy the experience, and then you can move on from it, and it's not going to keep coming back to haunt you. Now, that'll be something, depending, you know, you should eventually figure out what it is. I feel like it's going to hit you and you're going to be like, oh, wow, that's what Gemma was talking about. If you've been reminiscing on some dream you've given up on, or some thing you've always wanted to do but never seemed to have gotten the chance, so you just decided you're not going to do it now. If something like that has been nagging at you lately, that's where this card is going to come in. Okay. Instead of stepping away, which would have been the upright message, the reverse message is like stepping back into. Okay. Stepping back into some role or some mindset. Darling Deb, what's up, girl? Hilton, Whittlewood, Raymond. I think that's everybody. If I missed anyone, I do apologize, but I don't always see you guys when I am channeling. If anybody has to leave early for any reason and you'd like a reading, let us know. We'll do what we can to fit you guys in. Who's next?
You gotta love him now.
Well, he's going to bed at 8, so.
Blue Cross.
We're having fun. How could you be mad at it? I'm sorry?
Blue Crossroads. Hello, sir.
Blue Crossroads. Let's use the human spirit. They're playing, so there's 3 card games. There's, thanks, motorcycle guy. There's one called Go Pup, which is Go Fish. There's one called Old Bone, which is Old Maid. And then Tug of War, which is War. And then he has Sight Bingo, like word bingo. So they're testing those out until it's bedtime. Yeah, some sort of unfinished business, but it's nothing bad. I think it's some unfinished business between you and your past self. You know what I'm saying? Something that, like I said, you may have given up on, you may have given up hope for. It could be something like a bucket list trip that you decided, there's no way you can do that after you're 30, and now suddenly you're like, you know what, screw that. I want to have more fun than ever. It's very simple. It's a simple message, but I feel like it's going to be a big deal to you when the idea comes to you. All right. I don't even know what Baylor is. I guess that's a team.
Basketball.
All right. Blue Crossroads with the Human Spirit Oracle. Ducks in a row in the reversed, card number 33. We interrupt this madness, Blue Crossroads, to bring you shelves. Oh, look at you. Bravo. So organized. Your ducks are lined up ever so lovely. But are you so organized that you have lost all of the wonderful spontaneity in your life, the spontaneous moments? Maybe the thought of doing something unscheduled intimidates you. We give you permission to go out and do something unscheduled and fun. So Blue Crossroads, I don't think that the idea or the thought of doing something unplanned is intimidating to you. But what I do think is you just have maybe an idea of, the next few weeks or the next few months, or maybe even the next few years planned out. Your schedule may be kind of full, even if it's not full with work or things that are like of an official capacity. They're definitely full, and your thoughts are full right now. Your head is full of your thoughts, and maybe even to an overwhelming degree. But what I'm getting with this card is for you to get out there and do something spontaneous, do something by the seat of your pants, spur of the moment. Obviously, I don't mean anything dangerous, but it is the universe and your spirit team telling you, you need to take a break from the mental, I'm seeing like mental, like turmoil, mental thought process. And I'm not talking about turmoil as far as like anger, depression, melancholy, just the overwhelm of just like so many things on your mind right now. And a lot of them are good things, but it's still a lot to be overthinking, constantly thinking. And the universe wants you to take a step back and do something fun just for you. Okay. And not worry about what anyone else thinks, what anyone else is going to say. Don't worry about anything except what Blue Crossroads wants to do and when Blue Crossroads wants to do it. Just one thing. And I feel like this is a really good practice of self-care that we can all do. The little things, instead of doing 8 meetings in a day at our computers at home, do 7 meetings and take that extra hours to go for a walk and maybe have a picnic under the oak tree. Do you know what I'm saying? Just those timeouts that are just for us. Don't take the time to, doing things for everybody else or being spontaneous for someone. That's always great. A spontaneous gift, a spontaneous surprise. This is specifically, though, talking about you doing something spontaneous for you. So in the next week or two, try to pull that off. Okay. You know that if it was for someone else, if somebody else wanted whatever this is, to go to the carnival, to go to the Ren Fair we were talking about, or to blow off work for a day, play hooky from work and go to the zoo or whatever, you would make it happen for them. So value yourself just as much to make it happen for you. Who's next?
Let's see.
Miss Pixie, I'm going to use the Black Moon Lilith.
He just missed me today. That's why he won't be quiet.
No, they're playing. They're playing very cute. It's just they're both loud people. I'm used to, I'm usually in my own room, or upstairs in mom's room. But because she's moving, the kitchen is all that's open right now.
Oh, does that mean I can get dinner now?
You just ate. Oh, right. Miss Pixie girl. Yes, I can. He goes, she can't even hear me. He goes, she just scared me. He wasn't expecting me to say anything. I don't think you guys can hear them like I can, but it is a little distracting. Like I always tell Steven, if I'm trying to pull a message, as you guys saw in the beginning, I was so thrown off, I just can't concentrate. But it's just my mom trying to keep him busy, it happens. Okay, so this card, I do have to say, and Ed is laughing. I do have to say this card has come out in multiple personal readings, my own included. And basically every time I've picked up this deck for one cards and pulled more than one, like for more than one person, this card has come out. So this card is a big deal in our community right now. What's up, Vixen Doe? It is. It really is. But it was just funny because he goes, she can't even hear me. And I said, yes, I can. And I heard him go, she scared me. All right. Miss Pixie, you got the card of projection. Card number 44, your spiritual goals. Yeah, I didn't think you guys would care if there was a little noise in the background. He's only 5, and they only get to see each other every 2 weeks. My mom and him have so much fun. All right. You've reached the end of the rainbow, and the spiritual pot of gold, Miss Pixie, is yours. When the projection oracle card appears, the cosmos want to let you know that abundance, joy, and fulfillment have arrived. You are at the end of an arduous yet empowering journey towards self-acceptance and empowerment. The sun is an esoteric symbol of this time in alchemy, so pay attention to your sun sign, specifically in astrology. You are now aligning with this power. Your shadow is projected back to you when you cast it out to others, but so is your light when you go through the alchemical process and start embodying it. This is the final gate in the alchemical magnum opus, where you have released shadow projections and you are emanating out your spiritual goals easily and effortlessly. You are now fully aligned with your higher self and fully embodying your life path. You've achieved the Philosopher's Stone and are able to use it to transform the world around you. You are glowing. Your soul's essence is shining brightly, attracting abundance, joy, and love. Miss Pixie, I feel like this is kind of just a, what is it called? Like a reinstatement of something you may already know, or you may already be beginning to feel, okay? Like you've got this. You have come so far and so long that now you're in a position to be able to not only go out of your way to help people, but to inadvertently be able to help people just because of who you are, right? Just because of the frequency you're vibrating at. Even if you don't feel that way every single second of the day, I don't believe anyone ever does. I feel like for the most part, this is your guides and your team just telling you, like, you have come so far. You've done so much. You are helping, actively helping so many people, including yourself, that this is a time for you to really reflect on that and definitely don't let anything stop you. Okay. You're never going to be able to please everybody. Right. And this is something I learned the hard way, and that took me a really long time to learn, is that it's okay if someone doesn't like me. It's okay if someone doesn't care for my content. The content of my character is what I want people to judge me on. And a lot of people will judge me harshly or incorrectly on the content of my character because their energy just cannot reach where mine is. And I feel like that's exactly what's going on with you. So you may be in a place where you are questioning so many things about, am I doing this right spiritually? Am I guiding this person the right way? Did I handle that situation the right way based on this spiritual person I'm supposed to be now? And all of these things, the universe is just saying, wow, like you're doing a tremendous job. Just being you is lighting up so many people from the inside out. What these lower vibrational people want us to do is sit there and doubt ourselves and second guess and question ourselves. Okay. Remember, self-reflection is good for the spirit. It's always good when you're having issues or when someone is taking issue with you to look inside and say, hey, is there something here I need to learn that I can fix? And there's always something to learn. But I feel like right now, your spiritual gold is exactly what you're projecting out. But you have to, the one thing I'm hearing, but she has to believe it though. You have to accept that this is who you are now. Regardless of what anyone else ever says to you, regardless of who doubts you, Miss Pixie, you are so important to so many people in this community. Not just the people you actively mentor, but the people who come to listen to you on Thursday nights, the people who go to interviews that you're doing, the people who come in contact with you outside of this community on an everyday basis. Are you smiling and spreading love? Just your energy and your light is what's going to make people feel better, but not if you don't accept who you are. So if you're feeling any sort of like imposter syndrome in any area of your life, okay, this is the universe telling you to scratch that. Okay, there is nothing imposter about it. You have worked to get to where you are. You have worked to reach the level that you're at, and you have earned and deserve every single second of recognition, of joy, of excitement that you are receiving right now. And it is hard to believe in ourselves, you know. It's so funny. Yesterday I was having a slight argument with somebody. And in my living room, so you know how like rooms, obviously they have 4 walls. In my living room, the way the house was set up when we first moved in there, the one wall is all mirrors, floor to ceiling. I don't know why. That's just how my living room is, and it's cool. So what I was doing was I was eating a chocolate covered cheesecake pop, those things that you gave me with the strawberries. I found 2 of them in my freezer, and I was eating it as we were arguing. So I felt a piece of chocolate hit my lip, and I had this wig on because I wanted to bring it to my mom's, and I don't have like travel bags for my wigs. I just wear them. So I turned as I'm saying something, and I was looking in this mirror at my lip that had the chocolate on it. It went like this. And the person yet said, yeah, that's right. Effing look at yourself. Look at yourself while you're talking, because that's who you are and what you do. And I remember immediately going to say, no, I had something on my face, but I didn't even bother because I was like, you're right. That is what I do. I do that for a living and I love it. Where normally that would have thrown me off and made me think, is there something wrong with that? Is there some, I didn't care. I was just like, yeah, that's true. You know, you're right. I like watching myself. Obviously, it's what I do for a living. You know, forget about everything that I'm doing for other people and all of the services and light and love I'm trying to expel out into the world. It just has to be me liking the look of myself, you know, but my point is, no, there's always going to be someone that doesn't want to see you win, that doesn't want to see you believe in yourself. And when those people are the closest people to us, it can be even more devastating. Do not let that happen to you. Whenever you start to feel like an imposter, when you start to doubt yourself, Lara, you specifically, go into your comments under your stream on my channel on Thursday nights and just read what people have to say to you. All of these people are not Do you know what I mean? All of these people are not going out of their way to say these kind, beautiful things to you because it's the nice thing to do, worth the time it takes. No, they are doing it because they want you to know, to make you feel good. Thank you, Miss Casey. I had that wall. Sometimes it's hard because I do be looking like I'll come in when we first moved in every time. Because when you walk through the front door and you turn, that's the first thing you see is this huge mirror. I would always think there was someone in the house with me because I would see me or I'd be like, oh my God, and even when my dad would come to visit, he'd be like, oh, I keep thinking there's someone standing there because it takes some getting used to. To me now, it's just like, that's just how my living room is. But it did take a long time to get used to, the mirror being there.
Who said that?
All right, who's next?
Josephine, are you here? I know you were in here earlier. If you're here, speak up now. Forever hold your peace. As soon as I call another person's name, she'll show up.
Mike Roberts, what was funny about that? There was a time, because I showed you guys in the What If the Black-Eyed Kids Knock video. I did that as a joke, but some people who don't know me very well took it seriously. And they were like, duh, idiot, just put up curtains. And I was like, oh my God, I did not think of that. I did that as a promotion for my book to talk about when I'm sitting there in the book and I'm talking about sitting there writing the book, what I was looking at. What's up, Julie girl? So anyway, for Halloween, I put up a big, huge picture of Michael Myers holding a knife. And I see the Wi-Fi messing up again. So every time I would walk into the house and turn around, I would just see this face because I have that big open. Oh my God, it was so scary. I would always think there's someone standing on my porch.
Josephine, can you hear me, love? Could you call me?
Who's after her?
Huh? Who's after her? Edna. Miss Edna.
Aunt Edna.
The woman who'll kick anybody's butt that would upset you. Your mama in the hidden world.
It is the truth. And no, we're going to use Queen Mabe. Raymond. Sometimes I do, but it was funny. All right, let's do Josephine since she decided to pop up. And then Aunt Edna, just hold that thought. I will take care of you next. Josephine, I'm going to use the wisdom of the House of Night. Yep, got her. I seen her. Munchy, munchy,
You're up
munchy.
now, Josephine.
Josephine, this is you. I have that Tom McDonald, Ben Shapiro song in my head now. I've been singing it in my head all day. The ultimate troll. Whether you like Tom McDonald and Ben Shapiro or not, okay?
It is a troll. It's a great one, too.
It was a great troll. I mean, you've got to admit it. When he said it's a yarmulke, homie, no cap, I was dead. I'm dead. Done. They broke the internet for me.
I have a friend, Alex. I'm going to take his picture and I'm going to send it to you with his hoodie on. I saw that with Ben's hoodie on, and I was like, oh my God, that's Alex. He's a dual personality.
Mike, that is me for sure. More and more lately, though, I've been on the better level with myself. No matter what, I did a short for you guys the other day where I was like, you got to be audacious, have the audacity to keep going even when people are kicking you down. Because I was talking to my mentor about how some trolls, people I don't even know, were like, well, how good can your books be? You're banging them out, 3 in a month. And it hit me. I was like, oh my gosh. And he was like, who are your 3 favorite authors? I was like, Stephen King, Dean Koontz, and James Patterson. And he was like, how many effing books have they written? I was like, thousands? He's like, yes, writers write. He's like, why don't you ask them? He's like, how long it took them to write their books. Okay. He's like, since they're so amazing. And I felt ridiculous by the end of the conversation because I was like, that is so true. So lately I've been kind of battling my shadow, if that makes sense. I've been telling my that voice in my head like to go F itself, basically.
Back off, Jack.
I'm sorry, what?
You're telling it to back off.
Yeah, back off. All right.
Josephine.
Betty. Oh gosh. All right, Josephine, when you choose this card, it's a symbol to create a ritual and to connect with your spirituality. Get in touch with your own inner magic before you make a move forward. How do you communicate with your powers or with me, your goddess? Now is the time to pray, to meditate, to acknowledge the sacred in every experience. Don't take your next step lightly. You have the power to summon your spirit, to summon your courage, and to summon even me. You are inquiring about something important, so breathe and wait for a sign before you act. Josephine, I don't know if you're religious. It really doesn't matter in this case. If you are, get back to it. Start praying. Go back to church. If you're not, and you're just in here for the spiritual aspect of it, and you want to get spiritual, everybody has to connect to something. Okay? So if you believe in the universe as creator, whatever the creator is for you, if your higher self is your higher power, you need to make a conscious effort every single day to connect with it. Okay. For some reason, I feel like, and this is not just you, Josephine, this happens to, I'm sure all of us can attest that it's happened to us at least once in our lives, and probably so many more times since we all met each other and started coming in here. It's hold on, I'm trying to see how to think of how to put this. It's like once we, like if we establish this habit, right? So for me, it's yoga every day. I do 20 minutes of yoga. I try to do it at least 3 times a day, but if not, I do it at least the 1 time a day. I notice that on days where I don't feel so good about myself, or I'm not talking about feeling physically unwell, but I don't feel too good about myself, like mentally or emotionally, I'll blow off yoga. Then it gets that much easier to blow it off the next day and the next day. And then by the time I know it, I have not. And for me, that connects me spiritually. I feel a spiritual connection to the universe and to source when I do yoga. I do it with crystals and candles, and it's this whole thing for me. And I do very intense yoga. So Josephine, my point is, if you catch yourself slipping, the easiest thing to do would be to continue slipping. The hardest thing to do is get back on track with your spiritual health, whatever that looks like for you. Spiritual does not have to mean religious, but it could. Okay. So if you used to go to church, or you used to pray every night, or, you need to get back to that. If those are not things that you do, but you used to go for walks in the woods every morning, whatever it is, your connection to your team is seriously lacking. Okay. It is severely lacking. And again, not a judgment or an indictment. And I'm sorry, guys, my son is really throwing me off. He's going to bed in about 10 minutes. So whatever is going on in your life, even if it may be really, really hard to get up every morning and go for a walk in the woods for an hour like you used to, it's something you absolutely must do. You must prioritize doing it, because the more complacent you get, RJ, the more complacent you get with your spiritual self, my mom voice, the easier it's going to be for you to disconnect completely. And that's when we get thrown into total darkness and chaos. So Josephine, whatever your rituals are, again, I just use praying as an example because that's when I think of, like, when I fall off, the biggest is when I fall off from that. But whatever it is for you, okay, whatever it is that has you disconnected. And honestly, it could just be low self-esteem. It could be dealing with a narcissist or a toxic person in a toxic relationship. You absolutely must overcome that. Okay. You have to have conversations with your team, with your guides, speak to them out loud as though they're actually there with you, and find some kind of peace and some kind of way to not only move on, but to reconnect. You are disconnected for some reason. If you went back into a situation which was toxic or chaotic, dealing with a narcissist, whatever the case may be, That could be a lot of the reason you're disconnected. We walk on eggshells, the anxiety kicks up. So there's something here that you really do need to reconnect. And I feel like once you do that and find that spiritual spark again, you will feel a lot better and feel a lot more capable and able to move forward. Roger Blair, hurry back.
You've got plenty of time. Edna's next when you're ready.
That's right, Queen Maeve.
Hey, boy, you got 15 minutes. Better get it out of your system now.
Multifaceted Jewel says, by the way, Gemma, I thought about selling years ago. This is something from one of her big personal reading that I did for her that she commissioned me to do. It says, but didn't know where to start. And I didn't think there'd be a lot of interest. I guess I was afraid of failure. Still, I am. I get the fear of failure, but Jules, it could be afraid of success too. I feel like if you look at it as a fear of success, it seems silly. If you look at it as a fear of failure, you'll never do anything, right? You'll never know if you don't try. And I know that sounds so obvious and so cliche, but sometimes that's what we need to hear. Now, first of all, your spirit team is moving you to do that and has been for a while. Your readings are almost always about art, you doing some sort of art. Shopify is very easy to get started and very cheap. You can do there are so many online stores. Amazon isn't even a lot per month, depending on how much you'd be willing to sell. Think of it as a fear of success. And when you fear success, it sounds almost, because of the way we're brought up and the way we're raised, like, wow, how can you be, you think you're going to be that successful? And it sounds almost like there's a conflict there. Think of it as fear of success and then fear nothing and do it anyway. Try it out. Get a little venue at a little flea market or a little fair in the springtime. Don't be a self-fulfilling prophecy where you're going to fail in selling anything at all if you don't put anything up for sale, right? Then you are failing at it. I believe it's something you were meant to do. And I've seen the stuff that you do. You are very talented. I'm not the only one who thinks so. So maybe think more about it. Pray on it if you pray, or speak to your guides. Definitely would not give up on that though, Jules, especially if it's something that you've thought about for a while, because there has to be a reason it keeps coming up. Has to be. So my PP break will be at around 8:30 or 9 o'clock. So you guys go whenever. Shopify gives you your own card and everything. I don't know what the details are specifically. I did try them once, but I wasn't able to get enough inventory together. It just wasn't the right time for me. I will have a shop, but I don't think it's a lot monthly as long as you're selling something. You just need that initial startup. And Edna, I don't know if you've gotten this before, but I know someone has. Dive into the fire, card number 45. A bed-sized stuffed
You ain't
dragon.
stopping me. I'm running. Then I'll cry, and then Edna will try to get my tears.
By the way, I'm running out of dragon tears, so if you could send me another shipment,
I would appreciate it. To send little man over to drive me, and he'll give me a brain tumor, and I'll cry, and you'll get all the ones you want.
That was macabre. Mike, I've done that with hamsters, but I think, unfortunately, I don't think they just passed. I think, I know one of them, it happened twice. One of them, it was so calm on my chest. I think my hand might have been a little heavy on it. And I've never forgiven myself for that. And another one used to sleep in a drawer next to me. It was a teddy bear hamster. They're very docile. They don't go far, they don't really bite. And it used to sleep in a drawer next to me. And it did that. This one I didn't accidentally do anything to. It definitely was an accident. I never got hamsters again after that one that fell asleep on my chest. But the other one, it slept in that drawer for 3.5 years with me, right next to me on the bed. And that's where it stayed. And that's where it lived. I would put down those little dog pads inside so it was easier to clean. In addict life. I don't know. All right. And poor Aunt Anna. Okay. Let go, transform, and rise anew. It is time for you to transform and be reborn. The legendary phoenix ages, wastes away, and dies. It appears certain she will never fly again, move, or even take another breath. And then there's a spark, a flame, and a raging fire. And from that fire, the phoenix rises, glorious, glowing, and made of light. Kindle the alchemical fire of transformation now, Anna, and then enter into it. Let the old die forever and burn away to make room for the new. Clinging desperately to the past will not bring it back. Just as dead firewood will not once again become a sapling in spring. Release old conditions, relationships, habits, belongings, concepts, paradigms, expectations, approaches, and anything else ready to go. Stop trying to resuscitate it. Let it thoroughly die so it can be the kindling for your glorious rebirth. And I don't think this is talking about other people or relationships or anything like that, because you're pretty good with your boundaries. I can see that all over you, and I've seen how far you've come with them. This is talking about you saying things like, you feel like a weak old woman. You feel like, you're not as strong as you used to be. And maybe physically you're not. But that's this phase of your life now, of being the strongest, spiritually badassiest woman you can be, even if you're not as physically strong. I still wouldn't mess with you in a dark alley. Just your spiritual energy alone. I feel like this is you finally coming to a place of acceptance, and that, yes, something has changed dramatically for you physically. Please don't let it affect you spiritually, mentally, emotionally, psychically, because this is the rising of the phoenix. This could be a comprehensive message, but it could also be about a single and specific quality or condition of your life. Your approach to work, for example, or your living situation. Perhaps it's time to move on to a new town or begin a brand new career path. If you've been feeling joyless or somewhat depressed, it's time to proactively shake things up. Get honest with yourself about the ideas and paradigms you have shaped your choices and your world, or that have shaped, sorry. For example, you may have picked up the idea that you have to live close to your family or prepare for a sane and reasonable job that you don't even like. Look deeply and identify anything you can crumple up and throw onto the flames. Even a single, seemingly simple change, like the shoes you wear or what you have for breakfast, can act as a spark that eventually sets your world on fire. Especially when you question the unexamined assumptions or patterns that have lent themselves to boredom and self-limitation. What if you're not actually the type to wear sensible shoes or the type to eat the same old thing for breakfast every day? What if you're someone else entirely? Who's that person? Get curious about them and find out who they are. Be like the phoenix. Let go of certainty, familiarity, and monotony. Be willing to let what is tired and worn out die even before you're sure what will arise in its place. Dive into the fire, Aunt Edna. You will transform and then rise, filled with magnificent light. It's time for you to embrace this change. It's time for you to embrace this seemingly very annoying, possibly, like, however you feel about it, you're not feeling good. Just speaking of your physical health, I don't know what else is personally going on in your life, but I'm sure it's not all roses and butterflies, right? Nobody's life is, especially not light workers and not in 2024. But if you can look at it from a perspective of, this is my life now, it's not going back to how it was. So how can I be a badass again in this space, in this new space, with these changes that have been made against my will, without my consent, right? And just coming to this place of radical acceptance that yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery. I feel like if you could look at it in that way, in those irreversible terms, okay, you'll have a better grasp of what is really going on around you, how to get a better grasp of what's going on around you, and how to move forward into your amazingness, your superwomanness with the way things are, instead of being like, I'll go back to being a badass once my physical health gets better, or once I get this person out of my life, or once this happens. No, right now, as things are, thinking of there's no going back, there's only going forward. how can I be the best, most beautiful, most brightest, shiniest Edna I can be? And that is when you fall to ashes and become the phoenix. That is going to spark your ashes back on fire.
Mike Roberts. If I talk real slow, maybe he'll go to sleep.
And I know a lot of people who are doing that, actually. And I'm always suggesting it, as you know, always suggesting a spring cleaning in July, a spring cleaning in January, because it's really the spring cleaning, especially physical spring cleanings. Sometimes those have to be done a lot more often than once a year. I've been doing it too, slowly but surely, pecking at everything in that house and just getting rid of what I can get rid of and going through my stuff, RJ stuff, what we don't need anymore. A badass pizza maker. When you have nothing, you really learn what matters. Yeah, and you definitely do, because you're not. Even if physically you're weaker or seemingly in your eyes than you used to be, there's nothing else that was weakened. Just because you have physical impairments now that weren't there before, you don't have anything that happens spiritually, right? Just because something physically happens, it doesn't always have to affect us spiritually, mentally, emotionally, psychically, until we start dwelling on it and saying we're weaker, and then we start becoming spiritually weaker. We have to stay focused on what's actually happened, not our projections of what we think everyone else thinks of us or what we think actually happened. Yes, physically, you may not be as physically strong. That says nothing about your spirituality, your mental health, whatever. Mike Roberts, I'm using the Wonderlands Oracle. There you go, and focus on that, because I do feel like this quote unquote physical weakness or being physically weaker is causing a lot of issues that you're not even aware of right now in your life, as far as how you deal with people, how you allow people to deal with you, treat yourself. Even if it's not anything drastic, I do feel like it's changed. There's something not simpatico with the life you were living. Maybe you're not shining as bright now because you feel like this physical impairment is such a huge issue, when really it's really not. And I know that's easy for me to say, and I'm not saying this is very tricky. I'm not saying it's not a big deal to you. I'm just saying I don't look at you any different, because I look at you through your energy, right? I look at you through your content of your character. I look at you not by, how quickly you can walk around or how quickly you can get up out of bed. That crap means nothing to me, right? Only that I wouldn't want to see you upset or in pain. And I feel like that is where we become forgetful as human beings, as flawed human beings. We focus on one little thing and then we just let it run away. And everybody's guilty of doing it sometimes. All right, Mike. Card number 2. I wonder what will happen next. Ready to adventure, precipice of change, and pause before action. Interesting. Alice was beginning to get very tired of sitting by her sister on the bank and of having nothing to do. Once or twice she had peeped into the book her sister was reading, but it had no pictures or conversations in it. And what is the use of a book, thought Alice, without pictures or conversations? There are points in life, Mike, where everything seems quite perfect. Things are calm, all is well, and we are comfortable, sheltered, easy in ourselves and in the relationships we have. There is, in short, nothing really wrong. Then why, oh why, do we not feel satisfied? This is because free spirits grow restless amidst too much sameness, much as we find Alice and you, dear reader, at this time. While she ought to be enjoying an afternoon beneath the trees in late summer, Alice is actually a little fretful and a bit restless. She wants for adventure, to explore, and to reach out beyond the comforts of her current existence. This is the very point you're at. You'll decide whether or not to enter into and enjoy all you have been given. There is nothing at all wrong with embracing it. Or, as you will know from Alice, this could be the point at which you begin to wonder whether this is the place from where you need to explore, stretch, or jump. A small part of you is tired with the tidy, the comfortable, and the repetitive. You would rather be adventurous, where you will learn more of who you truly are than you will in this in-between state of sameness and people who never ask questions and are content never to go beyond the comforts of their current life. You, dear reader, want more. Mike, this card tells you that very soon, if you choose, you'll have an unprecedented opportunity for adventure, but it's up to you. It's your decision. But I think I know what you'll choose when the moment of change arrives, just in time to save you from the numbness of too much habit and repetition. This is the very edge of change, so prepare yourself. A longing for excitement, wonder at what is meant to take place next. Someone who is comfortable but vaguely dissatisfied. Be ready for a challenge and for new experiences. I do believe that there are lots of new, what's up, Forest friend? That there are lots of new experiences coming in for you, Mike. Okay. I, however, do feel like it's not so much that you're comfortable as in you're in a happy space. I feel as though you're comfortable because what's going on right now is what you're used to. Right? You're just used to this type of situation, this type of thing happening. And you feel like, well, I've gotten through it before, I can get through it again. But your soul, your spirit is actually yearning for so much more, something new and different, not the same repetition of, thank you so much, Miss Pixie. I really do appreciate it. It means so much. Thank you. This repetition of back and forth, being uncomfortable and being comfortable, being, upset and then feeling hopeful. And we all have ups and downs, but I feel like right now for you, it's just this constant roller coaster that just, I feel like you're ready to get off the ride. And I do feel like there's an opportunity coming in for you to do just that, to change things around, to do better, to be better, to do bigger and better things. But you have to recognize the opportunity for what it is. And that's going to mean taking chances and possibly doing things and accepting opportunities that normally you would not be able to. Normally you would not be willing to accept, right? Maybe doing something a little bit outside of your character, what you're used to, what's normal for you. And that is how you're going to accidentally fall down this rabbit hole into your own quote unquote wonderland, into this new and exciting way of living and of finding yourself. I don't even think you're at the finding yourself point yet, because you haven't jumped on enough opportunities to see what works for you and what doesn't. There's just this back and forth of what works, what doesn't, what works, what doesn't.
Okay, Casey's next.
All right, Miss Casey. I'm going to use Della Waits. I'll be right back, guys. Give me 1 second.
She's taking care of business. They were getting a little loud. That's kids for you, though. I'll make sure she sees it, Mike. I'm sure she will when she comes back. I hope everybody's well. Evening to Forrest Friend and Melissa popping in. Real Truth, I saw him come in. Hello.
Okay, sorry about that. All right, adventure time. What do we got, people? Yeah, I just feel like a lot of us get into this hermit mode, right? Where we're like, okay, we don't want to deal with people now. I do it. I'm actually currently doing it. I've been doing it for years. We're like, we're not going to deal with people because other people will hurt us, XYZ, this, that, and the other. But what we actually have to do is just find new things to do, new people to be around, and this doesn't mean you have to go out and party every night, but this could mean, maybe deciding to go catch a movie by yourself, and then you end up running into someone you haven't seen in 20 years who turns out to be your soulmate, and within 3 years you're married and have an entire new life. You never know. If you're not leaving your house except to go to work or to go and do XYZ every single day, Monday through Saturday, there's going to be no conflict. There's going to be no difference. There's going to be no real option in your life. Welcome back, Hilton. King Hermit here. Well, at least there's that, Mike. All right, Casey. Yeah, I know you go, girl. I know that's right. I cannot wait. Within at least, I'm saying 2 to 3 years, I'm going to be living at, very, very close to the beach where I don't even need to drive there. I could just walk there. All right, Miss KC, nice. You got Peter Pan, card number 16. I live in Neverland with my little fairy Tinkerbell and the Lost Boys. My fiercest enemy is Captain Hook. From time to time, I fly to London to pick up my dear friend Wendy and her brother. Some fairy dust, a few happy thoughts, and they can all fly with me and get to live extraordinary adventures in Neverland. We have so much fun in here, far away from the adult world. That's why I'll never grow up, I swear. Eris, so good to see you. It's been a while. Casey, your inner child is calling you and wants you to have some fun. Forget about the gray and boring world of grown-ups. Only just for a little while, there is a whole Neverland to be rediscovered within you. Let go of your responsibilities. Reconnect to your youthful joy. Remember that happy thoughts can truly make you fly. What are your happy thoughts? And what is your inner child begging you to do right now? Miss Casey, when I pull this card, I tell people something. It's just like the playful card in the Wisdom of the House of Night. There's almost no other message except for go have some fun. Okay. This is you letting loose a little bit and the universe telling you that even if you're doing all of the exact right things, living your life, if there were a perfect way, you could even be living it that way. But if you're not having any fun, then you're not getting the most out of your experiences. Are you being present in all of your present moments? It's called the present because what? It's a gift, right? I feel like this is the universe telling you, take a time out and do what's fun for you. Fun for you might be sitting under a tree and sitting there for an hour staring at the sky. Fun for you might be going for a jog in the rain at 5:30 in the morning. Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be what's fun for anyone else or what society accepts as fun. Do what's fun for you. What makes you laugh? What makes you smile? What makes you feel good? You really need some of that in your life right now. And if being around other people or certain other people are going to help you make the most out of your present moment, by all means do it. If it's doing something alone, by all means go and do it. But please take a break from the heavy. You absolutely need to reconnect with that part of your inner child that looks at the world with wonder and excitement again. I feel like it's been dimmed and dulled, but you have come so far in the couple years I've been reading for you monthly, and then I've gotten to know you just as a person. You're a Pisces sun, so specifically, this is boss up and glow up time, honey. But it can't be all work and no play make Casey a dull girl. And you also can't spend all of your time distracting yourself from any issues you may be having to help other people or someone else, because even though you're helping other people or someone else, and you do definitely vibrate higher when you're doing that, if you're completely ignoring your own stuff, you're always going to stay at an even keel. Now, another thing my mentor said to me that was very important, because I said, well, I do take time to myself every week. I kind of get distracted and get lost in YouTube for like 2 hours when I should be working. And he said, no, he said, I'm not talking about distraction. I'm talking about engagement, taking time for yourself, not distracting yourself from your issues or whatever it is that's bothering you, taking time out to do something that's enjoyable for you, that reconnects you to your team, to yourself, to your wants without distraction. And he said, 99.9% of the time, it's not going to include any kind of technology. Unless it's sitting and watching a comedy movie or your favorite horror movie. But this, what I do, that's just distraction. So get out there and have some fun.
Next is Mr. Mark Halstead.
Mark Halstead. All right, let's do the Santa Muerte.
Eris, it's good to see you. Don't want to be.
Is Eris leaving?
No, I'm just picking on him.
Oh.
He sneaks in and says profound things.
You're welcome, my darling. Yeah, Blue Crossroads so far, right? Blue Crossroads said, sounds like tonight's running theme is take time to be good to yourself. So far, Multifaceted Jewel says, at least there isn't any creepy coming across the net tonight, just hollow emptiness and frustration and feelings of being unappreciated. Ignore that. Okay. I don't think any of us doesn't know what that feels like, though. We've all felt that way at one point or another. And exactly, we get that a lot, Blue, because most of us never do it. For sure. All right, Eris, you got card number 13. Not Eris, Mark. I was looking at Eris saying, ha, dragon. All right, Mark, you got card number 13. Always with the cards of, I can't pronounce this. Huitzilopocchtli. Huitzilopocchtli. God of sun and war, simultaneously benevolent but strict. In fact, just as the sun consents life on earth, its excess can burn and kill. He can be considered a sublimated form of the light card, powerful and generous, but lethal if, like the little hummingbird that flies too near to it, we don't keep the right distance from it, or if we exceed in arrogance and presumptuousness. The advice of the dead: proceed calmly, Mark, along the path you've chosen, but without presumption towards the first goals you see in the light. Otherwise, the shadows you meet on your path will seem like darkened wells. Miss Casey, thank you so much. Again, Lara, thank you. You guys, I really do appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. So, Mark, I feel like you definitely have some opportunity to move in a different direction in some area of your life. So whether it's a new opportunity to learn and expand and grow, a new spiritual path, maybe new ideas you're picking up, there's definitely something changing, I think, within you and all around you, your environment and your spiritual self, right? Maybe some beliefs, maybe some opinions. But the universe is saying any changes that you make have to genuinely be because you feel the need for the changes. Not changing because you're expecting the universe or anyone or anything else to provide something for you. So it would be bad. It wouldn't be good. It wouldn't bring the desired outcome for you to just be like, okay, it's kind of like this. And you would never do this, but this is the best example I can give. When you're like, I'm going to go and help the old lady down the street fix her car, and I'm going to tell her I'm going to do it for free because I expect that she's rich. She's going to give me some money, right? It's like you're going out of your way to do this kind deed, but you're expecting something in return. And again, I don't think that's you, but that's the example I'm using. I feel like you feel yourself going in one direction, and instead of just going in that direction, seeing where it goes, seeing if that's what works for you, if you're comfortable in that space spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever it is, you have this idea, these presumptions of how it's going to end. And the only way that we can be very sorely disappointed is if we allow ourselves to have these types of expectations. And I feel like that is the biggest message for you here, Mark. It's like we turn good things in our lives and chances into double-edged swords because we expect things to turn out a certain way. Right? We get into things. I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. That's why I keep saying expectation. But we get into these situations. We go into like these jobs expecting that within 5 years we're going to get promoted. I feel like there's something small here that you could end up massively disappointed. But if you go into whatever this is without any expectation, regardless of if you decide that what and or whoever this is for you or not, you're not going to be disappointed because you're going to understand the lessons that you learned, the lessons that you needed to learn. You're going to get everything that you could possibly get out of this situation. Whereas if you go in expecting it to end a certain way, you're going to come out with disappointment and nothing else. You won't have learned anything.
Okay. Roger Blair is next. Did you want to go take care of little man or anything?
No, give him about 10 more minutes.
Okay. I'm going to run to the bathroom so you don't freak out when I turn off my screen.
Okay. Divine Empathic, welcome, and no problem at all. Roger, you said is next? Okay. Roger, let's use Shaman's Dream. All right, Roger, you got card number 11, Deep Quiet. Meditation, stillness, and clarity. When deep quiet appears, it is a message from the cosmos calling you to stillness, to step outside the corners of your everyday life. This doesn't mean to slow down and take a breath, although that's a good start. The cosmos is inviting you to go deep, to that place where the noise stops and there's only the vast emptiness of inner space. When we don't respond to the invitation offered by deep quiet, life can stop us in our tracks with an illness or with a crisis. Listen to that still small voice. Remember that you want to catch spirit on a whisper, not a shout. And it is only human to argue that you're too busy to slow down, that you don't have time, the inclination, or the money for any sort of retreat. Don't let any of these reasons get the better of you, Roger. Stop the world and enter deep quiet before you come to a crashing halt. After you have said yes to this invitation, you'll find that the world can get along quite well without the need for you to manage it. You will enjoy the freedom that comes with stillness, the clarity and spaciousness offered by silence. So, Roger, this is also another one that's pretty cut and dry, right? This is you stopping. You're reaching a critical burnout point at it somewhere in your life. Okay. If you don't make time for your wellness, you're going to end up making time for your illness. And that's that meme is repeating in my head. This doesn't necessarily mean physical illness. I'm not any sort of doctor. I don't ever claim to be, but I would say if you're having even the smallest little physical issue, please don't put it off. Go get it checked. Also, if you're feeling any type of way about a situation, if you no longer enjoy your job, if you are no longer comfortable in the space of your relationship, if it's feeling very toxic, you need to sort that out instead of just going along to get along and figuring you'll take care of it when you have the time. The universe hates when we wait for the right time, quote unquote, as does our team. Because if you're waiting for the right time, according to the universe, the right time is now. The right moment is right now. When we're in need, we're supposed to simply act. And that can be so hard because like the book said, there's no sometimes we feel like we don't have the time. We can't take off work. We can't do what needs to be done for our wellness because we have to focus on making money and taking care of our homes and our kids and all of that. And the universe is saying it's going to get 10 times worse, Roger, if you don't take that time out now and do what's best for you right now. Okay. Before, again, the universe stops you in your tracks and everything ends up getting blown up to the point where you have no choice. And now you're thrown into a tailspin, thrown for a loop about it. Who's next?
Nicole Barone.
All right. Miss Nicole, I'm going to use Night Fairies.
Get chilly.
A little chilly, yeah.
And usually she usually cranks the heat up.
No, not downstairs.
I don't know, man. That one time I slept on the couch, man, I was sweating. But the blanket she gave me was like 10 inches thick.
You're welcome, Roger. I'm just not used to being so distracted, and it's really throwing me off to the point where I'm getting agitated.
I know.
Okay. The Huntress, Nicole. Card number 3. Well, I know what I want. Silent in the depths of night is the mighty and shrewd huntress, scanning the horizon for her prize, never compromising, relentless in her pursuit, calling us to hone in our skills and harvest to our heart's content, knowing you want what you want, unabashed, unfazed. Unabashed. The call of the pristine and regal feline totem invites you to follow your senses and collect your prize. Visualize your goals, what you really want from life. Now imagine you are the fierce hunter in the woods and that the very prize is in your sight. Pounce and collect your feast. Visualize it. You were made for this. Nicole, like the huntress, you courageously pursue the dream of your heart with courage, even in the shadows of the night, for you are ferocious. The huntress speaks to the part of you that is so afraid to vocalize vocalize and act to directly fulfill your dreams and desires. In moments when it's hard to speak up, allow your inhibitions to not only fall, but be snatched up in the grasp of your inner huntress, because nothing will stand in your way. I feel like there's an opportunity here for you, kind of like Jules and I were talking about, where is it a fear of failure? Is it a fear of success? And at the end of the day, really, what's the difference? Either way, it's fear, it's ego, and it's making you not go after what you want. I do feel like, Nicole, you have an idea here of something that you either want or you were offered some sort of opportunity that you're kind of weighing the pros and cons. The universe is saying if something or someone are right for you, you're going to know immediately. There's going to be no reason to think about it. You're just going to know it in the depths of your soul. Don't be afraid. Even if something isn't on offer to you, if you want something that badly, you have to manifest it for yourself. You have every capability to be able to manifest it for yourself. You are your manifesting abilities are very amped up at this point in time. For the next week or two, Nicole, the universe is urging you to go after what you want fiercely and without, again, we're going to talk about without expectation. Just the only expectation you should have is winning, and manifesting everything that you want. So if there's something here, like you've been thinking about switching jobs, if you've been thinking about moving, far away, if you've been thinking about ending a relationship, the universe is saying there's no time like the present. You already know what you want. Don't let any kind of fear, because fear is ego, stop you from going out and directly trying to obtain whatever it is that you're searching for inside. There are going to be opportunities for you to really level up energetically in the next few weeks. But again, you have to not be afraid to accept those opportunities, to accept those offers, right? And to tell yourself you're going to be successful no matter what, because even if this one opportunity doesn't work out, the lessons you learn from it are going to be so helpful that the next one will. And if that one doesn't, that just means that's more lessons you had to learn. So the third one might. And if it's really meant for you, like you know it is, whatever this is, never give up on it. Without feeling naive, just knowing that these are the steps you have to go through. Be prolific. Be audacious. Have the audacity to win. Have the audacity to follow your dreams, regardless of what anyone else on the entire planet says or thinks about it.
Sorry, my son just hooked up his surround sound system, and he's got the bass so loud that my room is vibrating because he's right above me. But I'm always in tremor mode anyway, so it just makes it feel weirder. Anyways, next is Hilton. Then after that is Batmom, just so you know.
Hilton, I am using Moonology Manifestation. Guys, I'm going to take my 5-minute break now. Hilton, please hang out. I will only be 5 minutes. I just want to put the little guy to bed.
Yes. Hey, let her take care of business. I'm eating. I made everybody dinner, but I didn't eat, so I'm nitpicking at animal crackers. Because I always have the music blasted. I don't listen to the music like I used to. I have to be in the mood. Not going anywhere. Okay. He's doing good. He's out there trying to tell my son to turn down the bass on his surrounds. No, he's out there. I think he's watching a movie or something. He's chilling, unless he found wrestling on. And then he's probably watching wrestling. But he's good. Ornery as ever. Right. I'm just reading chat. Yeah, everybody's doing good here. Son decided he was going to do some house cleaning the last couple of days, and now I have all this freaking computer stuff in my living room. I still have silence slices on. Actually, I had pizza yesterday. I actually had a place up the street, Villanova. We got them last night, and I got open-faced pizza because I love their Italian bread because they make their own Italian bread. So they put that on a, French bread pizza basically, and it was really good. They always do me right. Yeah, Black Betty, Bam Lamb. Oh, Black Betty, Bam Lamb. Drop kicks, Mike. Poor Mike. We're all trying to get you to go to sleep, sir. We'll get you there.
All right, I'm going to switch this up. Hilton, thank you for hanging out. Let me do your card now. I had to lay little guy down. He and my mom are just hilarious. They're just so funny. I can't help it.
That's why I'm sitting here smiling because I know they're not meaning to be loud. And they're both just a pair and a half anyways.
Ooh, Paranormal Pixie going to warm up meatloaf. All right, so I am using Moonology Manifestation. I'm also gonna, once my mom settles in, I'm gonna just lower my voice a little so I don't disturb them. Gotta all work together. All right, Hilton, you got the full moon in Cancer. Let your fears dissolve. Are you guys seeing a pattern here? I just got done talking about not allowing fear to interfere one way or another. I keep bringing up my mentor because he really had an effect on me. He built $1 million, probably multiple $1 million empire without a college degree. He just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote until a book he wrote changed his life and he made a ton of money. You know what I'm saying? And then he invested and he did whatever he did. But when you talk to somebody like that, when you're in the same field as them and they know what the trolls say and they know what you're going through firsthand, it very easily will bring me, and I'll even avoid talking to him, because I know he's going to make me feel better, and I get stubborn, stuck in that I don't want to do it anymore now. You know, someone I don't know said something mean about me, so I'm just going to completely shut down and throw it all away. So I'll avoid him until he just keeps calling and calling. And then he's like, you're not going to do it because I'm not going to let you quit. Yeah. Okay. One more thing, guys, really quick. So Hilton just said it, looking at the full moon last night. Someone left a comment under my short about the full moon. And they're like, the full moon isn't on January 25th. And I'm like, well, I did say, depending where you are, I don't even know if it changes depending on where you are, except by maybe a few hours. But so you just kind of like reinforce that for me.
Yeah, you confirmed.
You know what I'm saying?
Confirmed it.
Because I was like, I don't think I'm wrong. I know
No,
when the
it's
full
fine.
moons are because I purposefully look. All right, Hilton, I'm sorry about that. You got the full moon in Cancer. Let your fears dissolve. Fear and neediness may now be at play. Hilton, fear is debilitating, while neediness isn't usually very attractive. Acting out of fear is a risky response. So if you dwell on your insecurities, what you'll manifest is an extension of those insecurities. The reason why we should face our fears is that in doing so, they often simply dissolve. If we don't face them, they can influence us to act in ways we otherwise wouldn't, which means we can end up manifesting the very thing we were hoping to avoid. To see off the fear that's in you, face it right now. Find a balance between Cancer's oversensitivity and Capricorn's coolness. Facing your fears and working out where they came from will point you in the right direction and get you into the right mindset. Your manifestation affirmation for the next 2 weeks: I completely love and accept myself as I am. So Hilton, here's the thing. I do feel like, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, it could be an opportunity that's coming in, not one you've already received, although I am getting a little bit of that energy. This isn't so much of you being like, okay, I don't want to lose this opportunity, so I'm just going to take it without thinking. Or there's no way I can live up to, I'm not ready for that yet. I'm just going to, not take it without thinking. This is you, I feel like, really overthinking whether or not to do something, to say something, to leave a relationship, to enter a relationship. You're overthinking things. And I don't know what your sun and moon signs are. I don't know what your chart looks like to know if you're an overthinker all of the time. But I also see with the full moon in Cancer, this is you also becoming too emotionally attached to a decision. Okay. So for instance, 6 months ago, your niece asked you if she can rent out a room in your house while she's visiting for something, right? You agreed. You agreed to let her do it. She's your favorite niece. Now that 6 months has passed, she's barely mentioned it to you, if she's mentioned it at all. You've already subletted that room out. She never mentioned it again, right? Now all of a sudden she's calling you up like, oh, I can't wait to come see you, Uncle Hilton. You're so emotionally invested in that relationship that you're allowing it to affect what's rational, which is you haven't heard from this girl in 6 months. She made a brief statement about possibly staying with you, maybe. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's a good enough example, but you're emotionally, hey, what's up, Johnny? You're emotionally becoming attached to choices, and that is not good. Our connection to choices should be whether or not they're rational, whether or not they make sense, or they're right for us. This could mean somebody else is trying to emotionally manipulate you into making a certain choice, or manipulating you by putting fear and doubt into your head about a really, really great decision. Either way, something or someone is playing on your emotions here to get you to overthink and be stuck in a place of fear about a certain situation, opportunity, offer, and or relationship. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you will. Make the choice that most resonates with you. What feels best? What makes the most sense? Not after you've thought about it for 5 weeks. Within a few hours. What's your initial response or reaction to whatever this is? That's what you should go with. Remember, your heart is the biggest deceiver. Your mind is an overanalyzer. Your instinct just tells you the facts.
Next is the Bat Mom.
Bat Mom, I'm going to use gentle creatures. Mike, I do. Mike said, pretty sure I just got my week's worth of sugar from this one drink of coffee. Who does that? My husband always says that my coffees are more like dessert because he drinks his with just a drop of milk or cream. Me, I'm like, I want a triple chocolate, whatever. I don't like chocolate in my coffee, but still, mainly I like the cold brews with the sweet cold foam and that kind of stuff. And he always says, like, I don't have to have dessert if you have a coffee, because if you have a coffee, like, I'm good to go. I have noticed it, Mama Cindy, but I didn't say anything because I feel like if I say something, it puts it in your guys' heads, and then I got you guys connected to that negative energy. I just completely ignore that. Not that you need to, by all means, discuss it. If you see it, it literally thinks it's hiding. Normally, when I'm here, coffee, it will just pace back and forth from that door over on this side. That door right there is the bathroom, a very small bathroom, and the door in the back there leads to the back deck. So yeah, it comes, I think, from the funeral home. Grande vanilla latte with an extra shot of vanilla. Looking forward to overanalyzing it. Well, Hilton, it is what it is, honey. I'm only the messenger. All right. Miss Batmom, let's see what's going on here. Batmom, you got the card of family. It's definitely not going to open. Well, it shouldn't. It shouldn't open. Yeah, he's there. Batmom, family is a funny thing. It's not always chosen, but it's always a matter of love. Here we see a couple welcoming a newborn into their unit. The two younglings tugging on the branch demonstrate that togetherness doesn't mean we all pull in the same direction all of the time. Being a member of a core group brings you the best and the worst of things. You always have someone there to stand up for you and with you. Their loyalty is a thing of true endurance. However, you'll also have those who know you well enough to call you out when you mess up. This blessing is that they won't abandon you after they tell you what you did wrong. They'll be there for you as you work to correct your mistakes. Family goes both ways, whether it's chosen or blood family. Take a moment to honor your own community. As you have been there for them, they'll be there for you. Ask yourself what family looks like to you. So I'm definitely getting a few messages here about Mom, and I don't know what's going on with you personally, but I know you're definitely struggling. You've admitted that much, so I'm not saying anything private. I feel as though you could be feeling, at least in the next week or two, if you're not already, that you let your family or, your core group of friends or somebody down somehow. I feel like what this was, though, is something that was meant to happen so everybody connected to the situation could learn their lessons. That doesn't mean that maybe you didn't make a mistake, but it doesn't mean you did. Nothing you did, your role in this, there was nothing done with malice or any intent to cause any harm. And that's why you should immediately, if possible, it's usually impossible, but you should immediately be self-forgiving. Also, why are you trying to handle all of this by yourself? Honestly, outside of your immediate family and your core group of friends, you have this entire community behind you. That if you're really struggling and in need of guidance or just an ear, you do have options. Holding all of this in is not good. It's not only bad for you physically, but it's also not good for your psyche emotionally. if you made mistakes and you feel like an apology is warranted, give one. But do not, under any circumstances, allow anyone to hold this over your head. They can either accept your apology or they could not. Either way, it's their lesson to learn. Your side of the street is clean, even with the mistakes you've made, because I feel like whatever is going on right now is something you contracted. So you could eventually, within the next 6 months, move out of this dark night of the soul and finally move on from a particular situation, or there's something here that it's like, I feel like whatever this was has been holding you back, just holding you back. And you have finally decided to let it go. And in letting this go, whether it's a person, a relationship, maybe a job, like you lost income that's going to affect your family, but the reason you did it was for your own well-being. You may not see it like that. You may have made the decision for a different reason. But good night, John P. Thanks for coming in. But this was a contracted situation meant to teach you and your family a very, very big lesson. You cannot take the brunt of the blame. You can apologize for your part. Whoever's left standing and in your corner is left standing and in your corner. But you do not have to be alone. Batmom, I am reading for you currently this card. It's time for you to start making decisions based on what makes you happy, what you're comfortable with. And again, I never, ever mean in a selfish way. Oh, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. I like that picture a lot too, Jules. I really do. That doesn't mean to do that in a selfish way, but I feel like you're always thinking of what's best for everyone else, to a point now where that's what everyone expects of you, for you to just sacrifice, for you to just always do the right thing, and nobody's perfect. I feel like there were mistakes made. All you can do is apologize for your role and move forward. And whoever's not going to move forward with you was not meant to be there. Stop beating yourself up. Stop feeling all of this guilt and shame. Stop dealing in a matter of regrets. Okay, it's okay to feel bad about something, but it is not okay to get stuck there and not be able to move on, right? And stop letting other people hold your past. I don't know what this means. This is coming in completely channeled. Stop letting other people hold your past and even this mistake, no matter how big or small, over your head. It's time for them to move on, and it is certainly time for you to move on from this. Reach out. I feel like there is a solution to whatever this is, not in your immediate family. It's like either in this community, somebody is going to offer you something that's going to be a tremendous help and finally get you through this so you can get out of this dark night of the soul and move into another awakening, a really, really big one. Well, thank you, Miss Jules. And Johnny Yuma, why would I be reading for the Baltimore Ravens? Are you being a bee buster, sir?
She's a Pittsburgh fan.
I used to work at a steakhouse that was owned by, what's his name? Tony Saragusa. And his stepson worked there. And I lived upstairs. And this was like 2012. And it was funny because, actually, no, it was like 2011. And it was funny because every time the Ravens were so good that year and the Steelers were not that good, every time the Ravens would beat the Steelers, I would come home after a long shift to just blown up images of like all of the worst mistakes the Steelers made that night on my door. No, I'm only kidding, Johnny. I haven't been able to watch a football game between my addiction, then having my son, and then working in like 15 years. I'm stuck with the tattoo though. So I guess I'll be following whoever's wearing those clothes for the rest of my life.
Next is Nut Slap.
All right, Sir Slap. Let's use the Oracle of the Universe. I used to get really bad over the Steelers, though. Like, well, I used to also drink. So me and Nick Y, who sometimes comes in here, used to go because he lives in PA and I lived with him for a while. We used to go to the local bars for the football games because they had bars that were specifically Steelers bars. And we would get so drunk and just like, I don't know, just like harass anybody who was in the bar. Like we made them know like they were not welcome if they were not Steelers fans. And then we'd go home and beat the crap out of each other and do it all again the next day. Lunar Eclipse Paranormal, welcome. New Englander Rudy. All right, thirst slap. Let's see. John P. You never know what we're going to be talking about in this stream. Honestly, it ranges. It really does. 1.5 times. Sounds like a good day. It was. It was great. I drank shots of Jack Daniels chased by, don't laugh at me. I did it because it was cheap. Shots of Jack Daniels, and I would chase it with a pint of Budweiser that I drink through a straw. So for every 15 shots, I would have like 2 pints because I just used it as a chaser. Lunar eclipse? No, not at all. And if this is your first time in here, you actually won't have to wait as long as you normally would because we try to bump the new people up. I caught up and it legit messed with me when I turned back to normal speed. All right. Giving Mike anxiety. Okay, so nut slap. No more distraction. And if anybody got your reading in the first half hour, I do apologize. That's never happened before, but I was very distracted because of my little guys. So, oh, thank you, John P. Soccer team is a dragon. You got Cetus nut slap, card number 20. Cetus. I mean, chasing it with bears too is very possible. We were in northern Pennsylvania, northeastern Pennsylvania. Okay. Nut slap. Understand your fears, and perhaps they won't be fears any longer. So, guys, another card about fear. Fear is a necessary emotion, but only if it's warranted. Not all fears are real. Would you live your life differently if you had less fear? Stand strong against your fears and take decisive action. Cetus was a deep sea monster of huge size and ferocity that was sent by Poseidon to the kingdom near Ethiopia in response to the queen Cassiopeia's boast that her daughter Andromeda was more beautiful than all of the Nereids. The Nereids were outraged and sent a flood to the coast, and in support, Poseidon sent Cetus to wreak havoc. The only chance the city had of not being destroyed was to sacrifice Andromeda to the horrible creature. Imagine Andromeda's terror, chained to a rock, naked and shivering, just awaiting her fate. Through no fault of her own, she would be eaten alive by a giant sea monster. Most of us will never actually face something like this. I love how it says most of us won't. Some of us might. A monster who directly physically threatens our life and limbs. Speak for yourself. But we all do have our own fears to face. But some of those fears are just as phantom. Perhaps we picked them up in childhood and it was a matter of survival. But we're adults now and we can do things differently and for ourselves. Andromeda didn't die on that rock, but her fear and Cetus did. It must be a dark sky to observe Cetus. It is the 4th largest constellation and has the pulsating star Mira, the first variable star observed and ever described. Your words of power for the next week or two. I understand my fears and can transform them. So again, nut slap. I can't think of the quote now, but it's like courage isn't the absence of fear, but, and then like, oh, I wish I could think of what that quote was, because that's exactly what this card is saying to you. Okay. Fear comes from a place of ego. If you want better in your life, you have to go out and get it. And you can only do that. Like nothing changes if nothing changes. For all the recovery quotes, I absolutely hate that one. I live by. Change can be really like threatening. It can be really terrifying. But at the end of the day, how do we know whether something will work or won't, whether something's for us or it isn't, if we don't take chances, if we don't throw fear aside, cast it aside? Nutslap, I feel like once again, you're just in this comfort zone. It's not so much that there's this fear of like this great fear of something. I feel like it's more of just like, well, I'm comfortable and complacent where I'm at. So why would I even try to do something different, even though you're yearning for something different? And there's a whole different life out there for you. You are not fulfilling your soul's destiny right now. You are definitely on the path that you've charted out for yourself, for sure. But you are not as far along as where you're living out that chart to the best of your ability and getting into your light work and what you were put here for. And unless you can throw caution to the wind, and again, not in a dangerous way, but unless you can throw caution to the wind and take chances, you're never going to find out what's really out there for you, what you were really meant for, something better, something more fulfilling, maybe. Whatever the case may be, whatever's lacking in your life in whatever areas. If you don't try new things, you don't know. How would we ever know what foods we liked if we didn't try different foods? It could be something that simple, you know? Nutslap, I feel like it's not so much your fear, it's your complacency that is keeping you where you are. And where you are is stuck. You know you want more, you know you're capable of more, but you fear that maybe you can't achieve more. Can't isn't a word in my vocabulary, or at least I try to keep it out of there unless I'm writing. Impossible, spell it. I'm possible. Nothing's impossible. Nutslap, you have to take chances. You know the Fool in the original tarot, not an oracle, there's the Fool. He starts by taking a leap of faith and going on a journey. He only has the clothes on his back and sometimes a little dog. Along the way, he meets the devil. He falls and is crushed by the tower. He meets the magician. He goes through heck. He goes through HE double hockey sticks. But at the end of it, what does he receive? The star and the whole world. Because he trusted enough in the universe and in his own instinct and intuition to just take the chances as they came. And if they didn't work out, that's okay. But at least he didn't have to wonder what if. And I feel like there are a lot of situations and opportunities in your life right now that you're blowing off as like, you don't have time for this, or this is not, you never know what opportunity you take that's going to change your life. And I'm kind of rambling a little bit because I'm trying to get to what I'm trying to say. So say right now you are a carpenter. I know that's not what you are, but just say you're a carpenter. And what you really want to be is an architect. But you feel like the way to be an architect, which this makes no sense, but just try to follow me, is to go from carpenter to this, to this, to this, to promote and level up until you reach architect status, right? When really it could be being a carpenter makes you miserable. So you decide to go and do something else that you like for a little while, and you somehow end up skipping all those in-between steps and being an architect by taking a chance that you thought had nothing to do with your ultimate goal. But because you took that chance, because you took that leap of faith, there you are. Who's next? You just have to take chances. Oops.
War criminal, it's not bad. I mean, it might be a little bit of weight. Just play about 15 people. Just let me know if you still want it. I got you on, so I write you when you come in.
Did you guys hear my phone ring?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what I heard about.
You should have told me. The only people that get through my block are you, Tennille, and my kids. So if my phone's ringing, that means someone's having an emergency, but it's okay. Oh. It's all right. No big deal.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Be kind. Hello. War Criminal 7. Hello. Lunar Eclipse Paranormal. No problem. We got you. I got you covered.
Next is Lunar. We're going to go ahead and since they were subscribed, I still didn't say they've been subscribed for a while, but never been able to make it a live chat. So we're going to go ahead and do them next. And then after them will be Raymond.
All right. Nice. So,
hello, be kind. Lunar Eclipse.
Lunar Eclipse. I wanted to make sure I got the name right. It was when I got up. Of course it was when I walked away from my phone. So Lunar, I'm going to use the Black Moon Lilith Oracle. Be kind. So good to see you. Yeah, 28 in chat. Next week we'll be on Friday again, but I'll let you guys know through shorts. If anyone has to leave for any reason and not come back and wants a reading, I know a lot of you guys watch from overseas or from work. Let us know if you want a reading. I want to make sure that everyone who wants a reading gets one and nobody's left out. All right.
I got to leave. Do you want to do mine now?
You stay. All right, Lunar. Multiplication. Card number 43, your higher self. John P. doesn't need your spot, Raymond, but he can go before you if he wants a reading. I can read for both of you. That's not a big deal.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
If he wants a reading, though, he has to consent. Like some people believe that she was. Yeah, not everyone believes that, but oh, thank you, Johnny.
Yeah, because usually he passes. So Raymond, he's got to give her the okay.
Yeah, I just need you guys to consent once. Okay. Lunar Eclipse Paranormal. I like that name. The spiritual realm cannot exist without the physical. They interplay and weave in and around each other. Through consistency and practicality, we can manifest our dreams, wishes, and intentions from our own imaginations. The multiplication oracle card wants you to know the value of discipline, routine, and putting your new consciousness into practice each day. Sometimes we can lose sight of the real world when we hope and dream without actually doing. Multiplication is asking you to get down to business and truly embody a new you every single day, the new you. The longer and more often you live in your own truth, the more it becomes a natural part of who you are. The mathematical definition of multiplication is the repeated addition of a specific number. Habits, practice, and repetition are important when you reach the 11th gate of the magnum opus. You are becoming a master of your own reality and philosopher's stone. If you remember, somebody, you might not have been in here, but somebody earlier got card number 44. Lara did, which was projection, which was the magnum opus, it said, the philosopher's stone. While it's important to use your imagination to visualize what you desire, you also have to do the work to achieve it. Multiplication lays a strong foundation to build on an already aligned reality. You are now locking in this higher version of yourself through ritual and daily practice. The universe is waiting to create through you. So, okay. Lunar eclipse, what this card is saying is, if you want something in your life to change, as you probably know, you have to work at changing it, right? Almost nothing happens overnight. I feel like the universe is saying, if you can put some type of a ritual in place, whether it's right when you wake up in the morning, what I do is I imagine for 5 minutes, but you have to try not to fall back asleep. So if you have an alarm set and that's how you wake up, I set a 5-minute alarm. I do a 5-minute snooze and I close my eyes and I imagine people across the world, hundreds of thousands, millions of them reading my books and enjoying them, buying my books, purchasing my books, people talking about me, people in a good way, in a positive light. People, my channel having, 10 million subscribers and people knowing who I am, because that is my dream for my career, my ultimate goals, right? I spend my first 5 minutes upon opening my eyes because that is when we are in I believe it's alpha and we're coming out of theta, the waves in our brain. So That's what I mean by something ritualistic, to start letting the universe know what it is you're trying to manifest. Because when we focus on things like, damn, for example, I don't have any money, the universe, you're manifesting actually not having any money because you're worrying about not having any. You're saying to the universe, I don't have any money. And the universe is saying, okay, you don't. It is really that simple. As long as you're putting the effort behind it. I'm trying to manifest being financially wealthy in my life, so I never have to worry about money. So if I were just sitting around all day binging Netflix, how would I expect that manifestation to come to fruition? The harder I work, the more work I put out there, the more I get my voice heard. And I'm using me as an example just to try to make you understand what the universe is pushing you to do. I'm not saying you're not taking action. I'm not saying you're lazy. What I'm saying is the universe wants to see more. Your team wants to see more. Acknowledge your guides. Let them know what it is you want. Talk about it as though you are living it right now. Feel the emotions you would feel if you were living your best life. Now, I'm getting one situation specifically that you want to feel change in. So whether it's a personal relationship, your job, or it could be literally anything, but you should know what this is. You want it to change, whether you want something to come to an end, you want to start something up. The universe is saying, like, you know what you have to do. It could be scary. It could make you uncomfortable. It might cause some issues with people around you who don't understand why you're making the decisions you are. But at the end of the day, you only have yourself to answer to. And if you believe truly in your heart and in your intuition and in your mind that you're making the right decisions, nobody else has the right to question you. And if they do, it's like, sorry about their luck. Be sure to put action behind any manifestation you want. And be sure to get into action on whatever this situation is. You're stepping into your power. You're growing spiritually. Okay. So there's no reason for you to overthink, second guess, procrastinate. You know what you want already. I think there's a part of you that doesn't want to accept it because you may have become comfortable in how things are and comfortable with how you want things to be being eventual. It'll eventually be that way. When is eventually? You have to start making that poop happen now. All right. So this, I hope, is your reinforcement, okay? Your encouragement to keep moving forward with your goals and with your dreams. Watch your self-talk, okay? No negative self-talk, no negativity, as best as you can for being a flawed human like we all are. Put only positive out there, especially in regards to yourself. Do that for the next 2 weeks, and you should see significant change along with the actions you're taking behind it. Good to see you. I think they got the Y and the S backwards. Who's next?
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do John P. And I just want to show you something. There you go.
Oh, nice. Good. I need that consent. I can't be reading behind people's backs. It's okay. I didn't know what SMH stood for like 10 years.
I don't.
Shaking my head.
Oh, you do that. And I'm like,
what's it mean? Good. Lunar eclipse paranormal. Good. And that's what we all need to do. But it's so hard. Thank you, Miss Be Kind. It's hard because we're conditioned, and we talk about this a lot on this channel and in this stream, from like the day we're born to don't be selfish. Thinking about you're putting your own health first, that's selfish. You need to put your significant other first. Or thinking about your own career and not how it affects everyone else around you. Oh no, that's selfish. Taking a day off when there's money to be made for your family, selfish. No, dear, that is not selfish. That is the actual best thing you can do, is selflessly love and care for yourself. Well, Raymond, you're next because John P. Consented. So we're going to use the vampire. Oh, he's excited for John P. Adventures. I'm using the vampire oracle for you, sweetie. Lunar eclipse, while I admire you for that, I feel as light workers, we all do it. Okay. We all put everyone else first. And there's nothing wrong with putting others first. But do we really want to put everyone before us? There's a lot of toxicity. There's a lot of main character syndrome going around. I feel it's only worth it to put those who put me first, and to put me first above anyone else. Again, not in a selfish way. I'm not going to take myself to $1,000 spa day and my 5-year-old won't have lunch for the week because I spent the money on a spa. That's not what I'm talking about. But when I put him on the bus to school at 8 in the morning, I take an hour where I try not to touch my phone. I try to go for a walk around the woods or sit there and do yoga, do my manifestations. I pray personally. That's what works for me. Say my prayers before I'll do anything else, before I'll work, before I'll return text messages, before I'll make phone calls. I will not do it because that's what works for me to get me in a good headspace in the morning. And that's not selfish, no matter how much the narcissists and toxic people in our lives want to tell us that it is. It's not. All right, John P., you got the hunter, aggressor, tracker, provider, card number 32. Paranormal Pixie, absolutely. And like I said before, be sure to focus on your wellness or you will be forced to focus on your illness. Paranormal Pixie said, and if we don't care for our own needs, we may not be able to help others when they need it most. And that is so true. And one more thing I want to say before I get into this hunter card is there are always going to be people that say they love us, but then when it comes to us reaching our goals and our dreams and being the best versions of ourselves, their ego kicks in and says, who do they think they are? Or their fear kicks in and they say, oh my gosh, if they really do become successful, they're going to leave me behind. That's their problem. I'm sorry, it sounds so mean, but we shouldn't have to convince those that love us of our greatness. They should already see it on us because they love us. If somebody really loves us, they'll see our greatness before we do, and they'll bring out the best in us. All right, here we go. The vampires speak. There is a belief that in order to have what it is we feel we need or want or desire or are told we must have, we must track it, hunt it, and sometimes kill it. For the hunter does not simply follow and make a friend of the creature it wishes to have. It has to kill it in order to be satisfied. There's a part of you that feels this falsehood, that in order to become something, there must be a death of which you will be the cause. Now, death in Oracle, just like in Tarot, usually means a major life change. That there is competition and need, and that you can only have what you long for if someone else can no longer have it. And we have come to you to say that even we, who are the unnatural world's greatest hunters, don't need to kill. There's always a way to find what we need without taking it from someone else. There is within you now, John, an urge to win in a competition where you feel there may be only one survivor. But there are other ways through to the goal you desire. You can find what it is you need deep within. And there's also truth in the word hunter. For you to live each day, something must die, be it for the food on your table or the produce that has become your walls and the home you live in. Energy has given up one form and become another. Everything transforms. But for that which you seek now, the hunt goes on within you. The chase must be of that part of your character which, when hunted down and integrated, will give you what you lack in order to create what you need. You need to become the hunter of the hidden parts of your own self, of the courage you might feel you lack, of the opportunity you believe you have not been given, for you breathe, do you not? And as you breathe, you, a part of you, is the hunter and must take action to obtain what it is you long for. No one else will do this for you. This task is yours alone, human. Blessing, it's natural and wise to allow the part of you that is active and strong and forceful to have its own expression. It's time to actively seek that which you want. See how far your strength can take you. Curse. There's always the potential that the hunter can become ruthless. You can maintain discipline by focusing on what it is you seek and refuse to be distracted by the pursuit of power for power's sake. It's time to establish how to obtain what it is you want. John, you must not ask another to go after it. And while the hunt will take place on the outside, it'll also take place on the inside. You must find that part of you within that has the courage to chase what you would make yours and be honest about it. This is a pretty deep message, and there's kind of a lot going on here. Melissa, what's up, girl? Okay, so John, what this card is saying is, I feel like there's either a lot of people literally around you giving you advice, telling you what you should and shouldn't be doing, what you should and shouldn't be aspiring to, or there's voices in your head, like thinking about what you were told as a child, what you heard, there are too many cooks in your mental kitchen, basically. If you know you want something, regardless of what it is, you have to ask yourself, what actions do you need to take to get it? And what actions are you taking? This is the universe calling you out a little bit and saying, well, you want this so badly. You know that it's for you. You know it's what you're supposed to be doing. You know it was meant to be. You know you want it. You know you can succeed at it. So what actions are you putting behind it? And this is a little bit of a running theme. Here's the thing. It's okay to ask for advice and then not take that advice. The only advice you should be taking right now is the advice of your team, your spirit guides, your angels, your ancestors, your guardians, and even sometimes ETs we have attachments with. And how do you hear them? They're your intuition, baby. Follow your instinct and your intuition brutally and ruthlessly, and things will start changing. That's not to another one's detriment. That's just refusing to be deterred by other people's ideas and ideals of you, what you should be doing, how you should be living your life, who you should be with, what you should be doing for a job. No, everyone has the right to their own opinion. They're like buttholes, right? We all have them. I do feel a major life change coming for you in the next 2 to 3 months, okay? And I feel like if you're not actively working towards achieving your goals, or at least a specific singular goal, you are going to be thrown for a loop when these changes happen. For example, if you feel like your job is a dead-end job and you only go there miserable to make money, just an example, but you don't do anything to try to find a higher paying job that's more suitable to your spirit, that's better for you, and that makes you happier. In 3 months, when your job randomly fires you for no reason, you are going to have nothing to back it up. But on the other hand, if you'd been looking, you may have 5 different opportunities just waiting in the wings for you because you were proactive. I do feel like you already know in your intuition that something is coming to an end or something is going to majorly change in the next few months. So in the next week or two, John, your challenge is to actively pursue the results of that change. Make the results of that change what you want it to be, okay? Otherwise, you are going to be stuck. I almost said something really bad. I almost said with your thing in your hand, because that's just something that comes to my mind. You're going to be stuck not knowing what to do. So good. You never lose an opportunity. So then you need to focus even more so than you probably already do on just not being manipulated into making choices that aren't best for you, but that are best for someone else. Yeah, I know, guys. I know. Shocking. It's been one of those weeks. Who's next? Raymond? Raymond, we're going to use the Oracle of the Divine Circus. Okay, Mama Cindy, love you so much. Thank you for being awesome. Ghost Dragons, thank you for dropping the links to my books. By the way, guys, Danger at Your Door is still a showstopper on Amazon. It is still very high up in the charts in the top 20. Midnight Visitors didn't hit #1 yet. So if you got Midnight Visitors on either Audible, paperback, or Kindle, or any of my books, Campfire Stories Part 1 is already out, guys. That's Encounters in the Woods. They are real encounters. I verified them myself. First time with me, always end with a boom. Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Make sure you rate and review it, okay? Any of my books, even the first 3 or first 4, rate them, review them. That really helps get them pushed out, okay? Campfire 2 is up for pre-order already. I am prolific. I'm a writer. I write. And I'm going to do 3 or 4 campfires before I get into another long, well-researched book. It might be something to do with urban legends, I was thinking, or like tulpas. So we can talk about Slender Man. You know, I talked about tulpas in danger at your door. All right, Raymond, let's see what's going on for you. Oh, good. John, good, good, good. That's the whole point. Darling Deb, awesome, awesome. Osteopath. That sounds like a cool job. Is that your job, an osteopath? Okay. I don't mean to sound stupid. I just don't know what that word means. Divine empathic, thank you. Yeah, I thought so too. I thought I can research into like each chapter will be a different well-known urban legend. And I can research like how it got started, where it came from. Missing the Faith theory, I talked about Hansel and Gretel and how that got its start, you know. So I'm so grateful and thankful for you guys, all of you, every week. Raymond, you got voice of an angel. Lunar Eclipse Paranormal, thank you. The only video on my channel where you won't find links to my books is this one, because I had to put such a long disclaimer that, oh, nice. John P. That's awesome. I had to put such a long disclaimer. I can't fit the links. If you go to any one of my other videos, mainly the pre-recordeds, you'll find links to all my books there, or you can go on Amazon and search Gemma Jade books. That's what I write under my own name. So, okay. Voice of an angel. You have something to say, Raymond. There is a unique voice within you that wants to be expressed creatively into the world. Whether it's a conversation you need to have, a truth that needs to be stated, a song to be sung, or a book to be written, honor your voice. Know that it's inspired and can help not only your own spiritual growth, but support others on their path as well. If you don't allow inspiration to flow, you'll feel blocked, as though something that needs to happen naturally isn't happening. It's an uncomfortable sensation that can lead to feelings of depression, self-doubt, lack of confidence, and eventually it will chip away at your self-esteem. Sometimes we unintentionally hold ourselves back from expressing inspirations, ideas, and imaginations we feel because we're afraid. We're afraid that we're making it up. We're afraid that we'll be judged, or that we'll fail to deliver a worthy expression of the idea. Maybe we think someone else will do it better anyway, or we simply don't choose to value our own inspiration enough to make it a priority in our lives and don't set aside time and devote energy to bring it to life. When the oracle of the voice of angel appears, you are being given 2 pieces of guidance. Raymond, firstly, your idea, intuition, or imagination is not off base, but spot on for you and your own unique life journey. You are tapping into pure inspiration, and the divine muse of creativity is blessing you at this time. If you feel blocked or are uncertain about how to direct your creativity, the universe is letting you know that you are being sent a muse, the inspiration you need to find your own true voice. Secondly, you are being asked to have trust, courage, and confidence in yourself, and to follow through on the gift of an idea that has been given to you. This is not a time to keep quiet, to play it safe, to hold yourself back, or to allow others to step up and speak for you. It's your time to speak your truth, to express yourself, to have confidence in your own ideas and inspirations, and in your own voice. This oracle also confirms that the time has come, or very soon will, Raymond, for these ideas to transform into physical reality. They will require action in the physical world. We just talked about this. And therefore, you will attract opportunities to bring what started as a wonderful idea into material reality. If you want to manifest something and have already been working to that end, Voice of an Angel confirms that this is going to happen. You will sing your own soul song in whatever way is true for you. So Raymond, this is once again another card that's talking about putting out. Oh, that hurt. Putting action behind your manifestations. So I've been sitting for so long with my legs just like sitting there. I just kind of opened them to move a little bit, and the inside of my thighs went pop, pop. I'm going to be 41 years old, guys. I don't know. I'm getting old, I guess. This is putting action behind some sort of manifestation. But I feel like for some reason, it's like you're second guessing yourself on this. And the universe is kind of like, the way I see your team, they're like, we don't know what the heck he's thinking, because it's something that's so obviously for you that even your angels now are getting involved. Your whole spirit team is trying to push you and move you to making this decision and or to taking this action. I don't feel like it's something that you're taking lightly. I do feel like it's something, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, in the next week or two, it's going to come in where you really are unsure if something is for you or not. And the universe is saying, what does your instinct tell you? Again, it's about taking that leap of faith and just knowing that even if we make the quote unquote wrong choice, it's actually the right choice, because you're going to learn important lessons that you can put to use the next time you try to move forward with this same situation, with this same manifestation, because baby, whatever this is, it was meant for you. Just make sure you don't give up. Don't listen to what anyone else has to say. You can listen to their opinions all day long, but in the end of the day, they're not in your shoes. We are all sentenced to a lifetime of solitary confinement in our own skin. You do know what's best for you, even if that's hurtful to someone else. As long as you're not malicious and cruel and going out of your way to hurt somebody, making the decision that's right for you, for yourself. Sometimes you inadvertently hurt people when you have to do what's right for you, right? Like ending long-term relationships that aren't working for you anymore. But at the end of the day, the other person will eventually see that you did the right thing for both of you, right? Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on this goal. You're only as old as your knowledge of technology. Guys, listen, for someone who runs a YouTube channel, if you guys have seen my pre-recorded, they're straight cuts. And they're probably going to stay that way because I have a really amazing editor. I don't know how to use it. 4 years later, I do not know how to use this editor except to cut, take out, and keep going.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah.
Darling Deb is next, and you have a private message.
And I have, it's funny. That song, Lips of an Angel, came to my mind. What did I just do? Oh, there we go.
I actually love that song. That's one of my favorite songs.
Just heard it in the car the other day, and RJ had never heard it. He loved it. Darling Deb, I'm going to use the fairy tale oracle for you. You just have to pull it out here.
John, I'm just going to get her a hammer. It's just a lot easier if you just whack it a couple times. Those legs snap right back into shape.
I don't know what just did. It hurt, though. I've never had that happen before. And I literally heard them pop. Like I said, I'm going to be 41. My kids are 24, 23, 19, 15, and 5. Okay. Darling Deb, we're using fairy tale. 41 is the new 21. Absolutely.
My baby's 30 years old, so I don't want to hear it.
It's amazing because Ray is like 67 or almost 67. And I swear to God, that man is like younger than me physically. Okay. But I guess he's done hard labor basically his whole life. So he's used to like outside in the freezing cold. It doesn't even faze him. Like your generation, I don't know how you guys do it. I don't even like walking RJ from my front door to the edge of the driveway to wait for the bus. We stand by the door and wait for the bus to be pulling up before we go running out so mom can run back in.
That's 90. You should hear Giles freak out when he hears the saws going downstairs. It's like, are you going to go down there and watch him? I'm like, dude, if I go down and watch him, he's going to beat the crap out of me for babysitting him.
That's crazy. Deb, that was funny. Great genetics. Up to like 5 years ago, my mom would get carded for alcohol, and she's 63. Yeah. Who said? Someone else said some boomers are tough for sure. For sure. Abductor muscles. 40 in April. When's your birthday? Yeah, Mike. A lot of people are. RJ's school bus driver in the morning. I said, oh, someone was picking on him, a second grader. And I was like, who is this? I said the kid's name. Let's call him Bob. I was like, who's Bob? And she's like, oh, he sits in the back. I said, he don't go near my son. She was like, no. I'm like, well, we're having problems in the afternoon. Does his mother pick him up? She was like, honey, I was like 37 years ago. I was in that same position. And I'm thinking, how young does this lady think I am? And when I go out there in the morning, I'm sweatpants, hoodie, hair in a bun, no makeup. But people have told me I look younger sometimes without the makeup. All right, Deb. I was carded in the Bahamas at 50. I hugged and kissed the guy, right? It changes, right? The thing for me is like, I think I told you guys I went into my oldest son's job. He works at a Midas. And I went in, I had my pink wig and my leggings. My face was all made up. I was going to the fair. And I stopped in to surprise him and see if he needed any cash or whatever. And he just happened to have a friend there from high school that was like hanging out. You know, he works for my sister and brother-in-law. So, you know, he's a pretty laid back job. And I was like, hi, I'm Gemma. And he's like, that's my mom's name too. I told him my real name, obviously. And he's like, you're his mom? And I was like, yeah, I'm his mom. And he's like, but it's like his mom, his mother? And I was like, yeah, I'm his mom. And then I was like, hey, baby, you know, this and that. Because when I came in, I said, hey, baby. And I gave him a hug and a kiss on the cheek. And I saw his friend looking at him like, dude, you're like married. Like my son's not married, but he might as well be. And he's like, that's my mom. And then this kid is like stuttering things out to me. And my oldest son's like, dude, calm down. It's literally my mom, like my mother. And he's like, the woman that gave birth to you. My son's 5'9". He's, heavy set kid. But a lot of people look at our pictures and they think they're my brothers. It was my point. Jules. And the people think my grandchildren are my children and my eldest son was my husband. They do it to Ray sometimes. They think RJ's his grandkid. And it's not because he looks old. He actually looks very young for his age, but just because I look so young in comparison sometimes. I'm sure it irks him. Darling Deb, you got the goose girl. This one is a little long, guys. Okay, so just, yeah, Johnny Yuma, just smile and nod. Darling Deb, a young princess sets out on a long journey to marry a prince. Her mother, a widowed queen, gives her only daughter a protective charm, 3 drops of her own royal blood upon a snow-white handkerchief, and a golden goblet from which to drink. The princess will take this journey upon her beloved horse, the wondrous Falada, who has an extraordinary talent. The horse can walk. She is to be accompanied by her maidservant, and so the 2 women, one royal, one a servant, set out upon the journey to destiny. After hours of travel, the castle is far behind them. Thirsty, the princess asks the servant to fetch her water in the golden cup, but the maidservant tells her shortly, get it yourself. She will not give the princess the golden goblet, so the queen's daughter cups her hands in the flowing water of the river and drinks. While leaning over, 3 drops of blood somehow speak, sighing that if her mother knew how she was being treated, her heart would be broken. A second time, the princess stops and asks for water, and again the servant refuses. The princess, shocked, drinks again from the stream, and again her mother's charm sighs, speaking of how wrong this treatment is and that she needs to beware. The princess is so shocked at the warning, she tumbles forward into the stream, and the handkerchief with her mother's blood on it and her magical protection is lost. With the golden goblet in the keeping of the maid, the blessing of the mother is lost. The maid makes her move and demands the princess swap clothes with her. She explains that she's going to be the princess. She'll marry her intended, and if the princess speaks a word about it, the maid will just kill her. She forces her to swear an oath of silence, that she will never speak to another person of the crime. The princess, disabled by her own gentleness and sheltered life, obeys and agrees, and so begins her life as a servant, and ultimately as the goose girl in the kingdom she once was meant to rule over. The story seems simple. It's of true identity and justice. It also seems to be about, at its heart, overcoming intimidation and restoration. But this tale is also deeply magical. The charm given to the princess is one of the most potent of fairy tale symbols. The river is the place where her true self is lost, and from that point forward, she's no longer able to speak her truth to a single person. The loss of the protection of her mother is the catalyst for change within this tale. When we lose who we are, our ancestral link, our stories, our connection to place and to the land and to blood are lost, and our identity can be taken, and we can be bullied and intimidated into giving up our power. And so the maid takes the goblet, takes the princess's horse, the noble Falada, and then she takes her destiny. The prince is fooled, for he sees only the maid's fine garments and her pretty face. But the old king can see the young servant's dignity, beauty, and grace. Even so, the false princess has Falada's head cut off, so he cannot share the truth with anyone, and she hangs his head over the gates of the castle to remind the goose girl of what her fate will be if she speaks out against the false princess. Each day she tends to the geese, combs out her hair, golden strands flying in the breeze, and speaks with Falada's head beneath the gates of the castle, sharing her burdens and fears. Their friendship continues even in death. The king sees her speaking with Falada, and even though she refuses to share with him what it was she spoke of, he convinces her that she must share her tale with an iron stove, which in this fairy tale was, quote, a place of ironclad safety where no soul would hear her, end quote. Her story spills out her heartbreak over the murder of Falada, the golden cup, the loss of her mother's gift, and how ashamed she is of letting both her mother and her dead father down. The king, now aware of the deception, asks the false princess what she would do should someone steal a true princess's identity, slaughter a magical beast, steal a mother's charm, and deceive a prince and a king. The false princess declares that she would send this person rolling down a steep hill, trapped within a barrel studded with sharpest of nails. The king declares this to be her fate, frees the goose girl, and restores her to royal status. This may seem like a tale about a bitter servant and a weak princess, but it is, at its heart, about protective magic and magical beasts, about appearances and truths, and about identity, the generational truths. There is a rich vein of symbolism in this beautiful tale, and so when this card comes through, know that someone extremely honorable has been wronged, Deb, and their work, their special signature has been stolen from them. The truth has to come out. If any have stolen or taken what belongs to you, metaphorically or actually from you, it shall be restored to its rightful owner. It also speaks of how the cruelty a malevolent and jealous soul wishes upon an innocent other will only return to them. There will be a balance and a reckoning. Again, the strong connection with nobility exists beyond death. Falada's magic continues. It can't be killed, nor can the truth. Justice will be done. Allies continue to do their work on your behalf. After 3 days of tending the geese, her story becomes known. The false princess is punished cruelly after choosing the punishment for herself, and the prince learns wisdom and how easily fooled he was. Falada stays half within this world and half within another, and the princess doesn't forget what it is to be left out. It is a fair and kind queen in her turn. Sorry, this was very long, and I even skipped a few sentences. So, Deb, that was a lot. So here's the thing. There's tons of messages in this really long story, but there are 2 or 3 that I distinctly picked out for you, and the reason why I believe this card came up for you, Deb. The first thing is there is going to... All right, Netter, I'll do a timestamp for you if you want, okay? I was awfully chatty tonight, but yeah, let's do that. So, Deb, the first thing is I feel like there is someone, whether you're aware of it or not, who is really envying something about you right now. They are, I don't think they realize it yet that it's a malicious thing. Like, they don't hate you, but there's something that either you're doing. Hey, Pine Island. Welcome. There's something you're doing or something you're gaining or something you've gotten that they really want. And there is the chance that this person's going to try to lash out and take something from you. So it could be a physical thing. For instance, like say your deceased great grandmother left a diamond ring to you and not to your sister, and your sister never had a problem with it until now. She's thinking, why didn't I get the ring? Now she's going to try to physically steal it. Either that, or someone's going to try to make you look bad, like your reputation. Another message I'm getting in this card for sure is the next week or two, I feel like you're going to find yourself in situations where you feel you're being kind of pushed to overly explain yourself. Like everyone questioning you. There's something you've decided to do or decided to become involved in or decided to. There's something here where people are questioning you, like in a criticizing way, and you feel the need to explain yourself, okay? Here's the thing. Your ancestral guides are very strong here, telling you you do not have to do that. The only thing you have to do is not allow them to plant seeds of doubt, because what you are doing, the journey you're on, what you're trying to gain or create is what's meant for you. It's what's right for you right now in this moment, whether it's a success or a failure. You don't have to explain this to anyone that you don't feel comfortable explaining it to. Do not let anyone talk you out of something that you so desperately want or need or feel like you need in your life, especially in the next 2 weeks. Because if you choose to listen to these people planting these seeds of doubt in your head, it's going to alter the course of your life in a way where you may not get the opportunity to do whatever this is again. I don't know what this means. This is something you're going to have to figure out. But you are on the right path, okay? You are making the right decisions. You're going in the right direction. You're doing the right thing. But other people don't know your motivations. They don't need to, right? Just keep that in mind. You do not have to, as a whole-grown woman, explain yourself to anyone unless you choose to. Who's next?
Vixen Doe.
Darling Deb, I do. I don't necessarily, it's not that I don't see it this month, but I see it in the next few months. And I do feel like there are people questioning that. So I'm wondering if it's going to take a little more time than expected, and people trying to tell you that, you know, it's not the right time for you, or you need to reconsider. And they're going to try to put these thoughts in your head. I don't think they're doing it maliciously. I think they mean well, but it's just not their place. You know what you're doing. It is the right time for you. And you may lose this window of opportunity if they should succeed in talking you out of this, okay? Vixen Doe, I'm going to use Raven's Wand. Yeah, they do mean well. I don't think in that case anyone's being malicious. I think they're just more concerned, but they don't have to understand your motivations. Just not for them to understand. You're welcome, sweetie. And if you need a reminder of that, you have my number. Don't be shy. You already know that. All right, Miss Vixen Doe. The Gift in the reverse. Those distant peaks now point to you, Vixen. Do they still wonder at what might lay over the hills? Perhaps the apple suggests the fruits that wonder and curiosity can bring you when you allow them to influence your path. This is a card of settling. That one was so short, right, compared to the other one? Vixen, what's up, Bob? Vixen. Okay, Miss Jules. If I have time, I can do a timestamp for you. Don't worry about it. I know I chatted a lot, but it's still only 9:30. If you need to go to sleep, girl, go ahead. And as long as I don't end too late, I'll make sure you get a timestamp. So check the comments. Okay, so this is about you settling. Are you content to settle right now? I feel like this question is going to be playing in your head. I feel like you're content with a lot of what's going on in your life, Vixen Doe, but there's a yearning for something here. So whether it's for more or for something different, to go on a different, path, maybe to experiment, to try some new things, to explore. But Sorry, I'm so thirsty. This is the best water. Strawberry lemon hint. But I feel like you're not content and there's something stirring in you that you want or need more in a certain area of your life. Vixen Doe, don't be afraid to take chances. Oh my God. You're never too old to take chances to try new things. Even if you fail, it's always going to be worth the lesson you learned. And at least you'll know you tried. I feel like there's more adventure in you. Your Vixen Doe, your spirit, you still have an adventurous spirit. You want to go and try things. You don't want to just be. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there are times when you do. If this doesn't resonate, know that in the next 2 weeks, there's going to be an opportunity to do something that's going to really excite you. That's going to stir something in you that hasn't been stirred in a while. And just like I said to Deb, you are a whole ass woman. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone. You don't need to take the time to convince other people that you know what's right for you. So if something comes up that you want to take a chance, you want to try something new, you want to go on a little adventure, you have the right to do that. Please do it. You're being pushed to do it. There's no time like the present. All right, Forest friend, don't worry about it. Have a great night. Thank you so much for coming in. We'll be here next Friday. She's hungry. My mom cooks me a whole big meal, so I'm not hungry.
I'm eating animal crackers.
My mom's the best cook. Nobody tops my mother's food ever. I can't even do it, and I'm a pretty good cook. Who's next?
Since Carrie didn't answer, we're going to go ahead and do Jules so she can go eat. She was next anyways.
Hey, Latro. Oh, Jules, if you want to stick around, it's your turn.
Right now.
Okay. Wait, Jules, wait.
Wait, Jules.
I was gonna do a timestamp for her, but if it's her turn now, write it down in case she left. I'm using human spirit, please.
For Jules?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in case she already left, because I told her I would do a timestamp for her.
That's fine.
Latro, welcome. I'm just trying to talk a little lower because I don't want to wake the baby up. What did Raymond just say? He said something very nice. Forest friend, thank you. You're so sweet. That was my mom going out the front door to have a cigarette. I don't know. Gemma, everyone here, they acknowledge you. Yeah. Vixen Doe, good. Listen, please take chances if you feel that's what's right for you. You know yourself better than anyone else, and you've earned this. Whatever this is, you've earned the opportunity. Go have some fun. And that's all I want is for you guys to feel that way. I really do. All right, Miss Jules, so you can get to sleep. You got bound for boundaries. Isn't it ironic? But you got it in the shadow, so let's see what it has to say. Card number 26. Like, my ex told me when he was in prison, he was like, yeah, it's cool. It's all right now that I'm used to it, but I got to sleep with my shoes on in case someone tries to try me first thing in the morning. And I don't know why, but that sentence always made me laugh. Okay. Sometimes we set our boundaries so firmly that we don't give an inch. There could be something rewarding outside your gate. So today, make it a line in the sand and know when it's okay to just set that boundary a little less permanent. Sometimes the things knocking at the door are opportunities from the universe for us to grow and experience new things if we're always hiding behind our fences from fear of past experience. We'll never know what new and exciting things are seeking us out. Just remember, Jules, to have faith in yourself and know that it's always okay to say no and remove yourself from an uncomfortable or inappropriate situation. So here's the thing. You and I and myself and so many in here, and including me talking to myself, we talk about boundaries, not only creating them, but what? Say it with me, enforcing them. Okay? So I feel like the universe is saying, if an opportunity presents itself, but you're still a little iffy because of something that happened in the past. So for instance, say that you're looking for a specific job. You want to work from home doing something. Someone you didn't get along with well in the past and who you kind of don't trust, but you're not really sure of, you can't fill them out, offers you that exact thing. What the card is saying here, it's okay to accept that opportunity. And then if it's not right for you, bow out later. It's okay to say yes to something and then change your mind, right? That is part of enforcing our boundaries. Set the price for your access. If somebody is willing to work with you to gain access to you, but then turns out to be a snake, a narc, a toxic person, you're allowed to renege on any deals you made when other people aren't keeping up their end. You don't have to feel guilty, bad, shameful, or anything about any of that. So, Jules, an opportunity could be coming in here, but not in the most desirable of ways or through the most desirable people for you. It's okay to let your guard down. Feel them out with your intuition, okay? However, it's also okay to back out as long as you're not physically hurting anyone or purposefully hurting anyone. You are allowed to put yourself and your own comfort first, while also, like we've been talking about all night, taking those chances for ourselves, giving ourselves those chances because we all deserve them. We've all been through so much, right? Take chances. Don't be afraid to say, I changed my mind, if necessary. Oh, thank you, John. You guys are so sweet.
Okay, next.
Well, darling Deb, I'm sorry, Stephen. I didn't say you weren't. I just hesitate to say, yes, you absolutely are, because if I'm wrong, that's devastating. I didn't say you weren't. I've been seeing a lot of baby, pregnant, 42 around you, which is weeks in gestation. I hesitate to give you a positive. I'm not pregnancy test, and I'm not in the same room with you to actually be able to touch you and see. So who's next?
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at what looks.
I know.
Next is Melissa Nicole.
All right. Melissa, I'm going to use Deep, Dark, and Dangerous, the Blue Crossroads deck. Ski join, cross-country skiing being pulled by, oh, that sounds awesome. Darling Deb, I don't see that on your energy. I don't know about your husband's, but I can't ever give you a definite unless I can physically touch your body. But I don't see it. I would have told you that privately had I. All right. Miss Bacon, let's see what's going on with you this week. Girl, you'll be disappointed if you aren't. Come on, anybody would be. Me, it's like, don't look at my pictures and like do anything to yourself because it doesn't matter where you are in the world. I will get pregnant. Facts. Like I just don't even look at me funny in my pictures because you will impregnate me and we will have a problem. Fertile Myrtle took on a whole new meaning when I was born or around the time I turned 15. I know you won't. I know. All right. Card number 26. Sovereignty, the Morrigan. It's a dark card. Establish your own realm, Melissa, and domain. You are the queen of your own castle, and this means you set boundaries and guidelines. Protect the earth and her creatures. The Morrigan is a Celtic/Irish goddess and the warrior queen of war, known in modern Ireland as Morrigan. She is the queen of phantoms in battle, the great queen. The Morrigan is listed among the Tuatha Dé Danann, an ancient Celtic mythical race of deities, as one of the daughters of Ernemus and the granddaughter of the god Nuada. The Morrigan has also been described in a triple aspect with three distinct forms called Badbi, Macha, and Nimain, or Anand. To link her with the completely separate entity of Morgan Le Fay is incorrect, although they are both dark and strong battle goddesses. Morgan Le Fay is the half-sister of King Arthur. The Morrigan often appears as a powerful black crow called the Badbi and flies over the battlefield to both inspire her own warriors and create havoc and fear among the enemy. She secures the protection of the land itself in the interest of the prosperity of the land and will fight against and punish those who threaten it. The Morrigan is both a goddess and sometimes the embodiment of the land itself, granting sovereignty to a king to be by her blessing. a king-to-be by her blessing. That is, giving her allegiance in battle or by having sex with a potential candidate. She is a king or queen maker and well respected among Irish royalty. In one myth, the Morrigan meets the god Dagda or Samhain on Samhain evening before a battle with an enemy called the Fomorians. Dagda, who is one of Ireland's most powerful gods, enters the agreed field but finds the Morrigan astride a river she has created. She's standing with one foot either side of the flow, washing herself. He realizes her creative power. They have sex, and the Morrigan assures Dagda that she will summon all the most powerful sorceresses and magicians of the country to cast great... I'm sorry, guys. I'll be right back.
Just making sure everything's okay. Everybody having a good night. I'm seeing that for sure. Everybody's getting some good giggles in. You guys are killing me. We talk to each other. I love it. Eris, are you still around? I might as well do that while we're here.
Sorry about that. I heard my mom yell, "Oh, shit." I thought something bad happened. Sorry about that. They have sex, and the Morrigan assures Dagda that she will summon all the most powerful sorceresses and magicians of the country to cast great magic on his behalf and for his cause in the army of the Tuatha. She promises to destroy the king of the Fomorians, Indech, by draining the blood out of his heart. Okay. Yeah, Latro. I was going, okay. Hobo, maybe. My house cryptid, here, hobo. The battle wages for some time, but the Morrigan enters the fray and chants for magic. Immediately, the Fomorians' lines break and they run for the sea. The Morrigan is also a fate teller. She can be a frightening force who foresees the fate of others, and it is said she appears to the families of those who die in battle, washing their bloody clothing. Your plant companion is vervain and your crystal companion is citrine. Now, lately, I'm not wearing it today because I'm not home. I've been working with citrine a lot. It is an extremely powerful stone. Melissa Nicole, I hope you're still here. This card is talking about your own feminine power. And sometimes when we're dealing with toxic, controlling, abusive, and narcissistic people, I'm sorry, but this is what's coming in. This is not me giving the advice, okay, guys? So it's okay to do what we have to do to get them away from us. It's okay to use our femininity or our masculinity as a means to an end. You are the creator and setter of your own boundaries, but you're also the enforcer of them. Melissa, someone else doesn't have to believe in your power to make your power true. The only person that has to believe in your power to make it true is you, baby girl. So why are you jumping through hoops trying to prove your power, trying to prove your, not anonymity, that's not the right word, your autonomy to someone who isn't worth like the gum stuck to the bottom of your shoe? Go ahead, I'll wait. Honey, you are strong, powerful, capable. You deserve so much better. And those are not things that I just tell anybody because it sounds like a nice thing. Your friend Gemma would tell you the same thing, but I am channeling messages directly from your own spirit team. You deserve better. You really need to step away from this relationship fully, completely, and for good, for once and for all, because it's not going to get any better. The way you prove your power is not by explaining it, by making false threats, by accepting false promises, manipulating or allowing yourself to be manipulated. It's by stepping into your gosh dang power, not giving a poop who cares, and taking action. Let them fight back. They don't even have a leg to stand on. But you have to believe first that you have the power to do that. And I fear and feel like you're struggling with that. I don't know how else to get it through to you. I'm literally channeling your own spirit guides, your own ancestors, entities, spirit that's with you every day, that knows every in and out of you, that have been telling you this for over a year now. Get away before you can't anymore. How do you do that? Step into your power. Facts. War criminal. Facts. Let's make sure that anybody I'm reading for is here.
Okay, Eris is next. He is here. Don't anyone to worry about. Johnny, Yuma, you're after Eris. If you're here, please let me know. I believe War Criminal is still here too.
War criminal was just talking.
And you're doing a timestamp for Rhodey.
For
right?
who?
New England Rhodey.
And Lotus, yeah.
Oh, and Lotus too?
I really love cats. I love you guys so much. War criminal, if I had known that, you wouldn't have had to wait. It's because you've been in here before. I had no idea you never had a reading. Eris?
Yeah, because he's been in here before and I never realized he never got a reading.
All right, Eris, let's do Shaman's Dream. Oh, Letro. Yes, Paranormal Pixie, absolutely. We're all glad you're here for it. We are just one big happy family, to be honest. And it's funny because sometimes we do bicker. I see we're surreptitiously missing someone tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do. You and John P. often kind of 1 minute, yeah, no. So I just kind of have to ask or go with
it. Okay. All right, Eris, my sneaky little Eris. Card number 35 in Shaman's Dream, you have the Lost Compass, getting back to integrity. Ruh-roh. Yeah, New England, what did you have to eat? If we passed up where New England is. Okay. All right. Eris. Getting back to integrity, finding your way home, trusting intuition. When the lost compass appears, it's a sign that you need to find your way back home, back to your source, your center, and relying on your intuition to arrive there. Be wary of the signs telling you to turn here, turn there, or to avoid this or that person or situation, because the outward indicators aren't reliable right now. Be careful not to believe all of the advice you're receiving. Rely instead on your innate sense of direction and guidance, and use your homing instinct to lead you true. The Lost Compass has come to show you, Eris, that you need to find new counselors. You are not getting the mentoring you need for your own success. Who is that person you're looking up to as a model for what it means to be a woman or a man? Trash that ideal. Tear up the picture you carry in your mind. You are meant to be you, not the best copy of the person you admire most. Make this your mantra for the next 2 weeks. Love me or leave me. The Lost Compass is a blessing in disguise because you sometimes have to lose your bearings and find yourself afresh to discover a new course. True north never changes, so reset your way to your heart compass and trust your deepest feelings even when others don't support them. Remember that you're not lost. You simply don't know where you are going right now. Lost is a state of mind. Not knowing where you are going is an opportunity to find your way to a new path. Okay. You feel some confusion regarding a situation, you could very well have a mentor who you could be feeling weird about. I think in general, this is just you not knowing which direction to go, right? You don't know which opportunity to take, which opportunity not, to step away from. And I feel like you are asking people in your life for advice. What would they do? I ask myself, what would Ben do? And that's okay to do, except in your situation, the people who are giving you advice, I don't believe they're purposefully misleading you, but like I think I said with Deb, or I said with someone, they're giving you advice for their best interest. Like if you're asking for advice whether or not you should move to a new country and pursue your dreams, they're going to tell you no because they don't want to lose you and they're not sure if you can make it, right? It's that type of thing. In the next week or two, you really have to make your own decisions, stand on your own 2 feet. And I feel like you're a person who does that, but things could start getting, thank you, Pixie, very confusing. Okay. where you feel like you want to reach out. The universe is saying, if you're going to reach out to your guides. If you believe in God and you pray, reach out to God, reach out to Jesus. If that's not for you, reach out to your higher self through meditation. Talk out loud to your guides and ask for a sign. Do not get advice from any other flawed human on anything in the next week or two. No exceptions. Yeah. Miss Pixie, thank you for that. She said, folks, do remember that Gemma can also do a more in-depth personal reading if you book directly with her. Yeah, these are just one card. I do 7 to 10 cards. Sometimes I'll do a Celtic Cross Oracle, which costs a little bit, but it combines a little bit more, but combines tarot with Oracle. And that's usually about 13 to 14 cards. Sometimes 15 to 20, depending on how much I pull, what I want to see. I'll pull from a time deck, very in-depth for $40. Or a regular, usually it's a 7-card reading, sometimes 10 for $25 or $20, sorry, to my PayPal or Cash App. All right, who's next?
New England, actually, because Johnny never answered. He kind of comes and goes.
Not for the next week or two, Eris. No advice from mere mortals. Thank you, Mike. Mike said, yes, Lara's right. Personal readings are amazing. Thanks, guys. All right, New England Dirt Roadie, I'm using Deep, Dark, and Dangerous. Thank you, Miss Deb. You guys are so sweet. Most of you have gotten personals with me, and I always appreciate it. You're welcome, Eris. All right, New England, you got Alchemy, Circe, card number 23, my favorite number, and it is a dark card. You are the magic. Be your own alchemist. Deepen your plant and herbal knowledge. Do not trust fleeting first impressions. Sometimes things aren't exactly as they seem, so look deeper. Get clear about what's real and what isn't. Circe is probably one of the most intriguing deities within all Greek mythos, born of the god of the sun, the Titan Helios. And the ocean nymph Perse, she became one of the greatest sorceresses, herbalists, and potion makers in the ancient world. Misunderstood and feared, it was said she was beautiful and had eyes like all of Helios's children of bright, shining gold. The myth that most people recognize about Circe is that her home on the island of Aia, full of tame beasts, such as huge lions, wolves, and massive tusked pigs. When Odysseus arrives, he marvels at this graceful woman alone, except for these huge creatures, but soon realizes that the creatures are all formerly men, whom Circe had transformed into beasts with a potion, and his crew are some of them. Again, here is the idea that a sorceress would automatically have to be of ill intent, and giving pig-making potions to sailors may be a bit of evidence to this, but let's look more closely. Imagine being Circe, hunted by the great Athena, exiled to the island and being alone except for your skills in potion making and magic to protect you. Every now and again, a boatload of sailors come to the island, sometimes accidentally during a storm, sometimes simply to rest and gather supplies. Circe offers them hospitality, salt, and food, but she's a woman in their eyes, vulnerable, and in fact, they try to use her as they will. She is S-Aid. She is determined this will never happen again and decides that every man who comes to the island, unless they leave that same day, will be transformed. Things change somewhat when we know the motive, right? Circe is able to pull together the elements and the plants in order to synergistically create magic for all kinds of reasons. She assists her sister Pasiphae when she gives birth to the Minotaur, and it is suggested she created the potion that transformed Scylla and the potion that brought Odysseus back to life after he was killed by Telegonus. In a long and interesting life, Circe defended, hindered, assisted, and created big magic. Plant companion Rue, crystal companion Violet Flame Opal, which, by the way, is a beautiful stone. Mark, good night, sweetheart. Good night, Latro. Thank you. New England Dirt Roadie, I feel like there is some deceit in your midst. I feel like somebody is trying to fool you into thinking something's good for you. Hey, Guardian Jackpot. I don't understand really why this is happening. You're you're a loner, and I feel like you kind of go your own way no matter what. But for some reason, someone is stepping in here and misleading you. They're giving you misinformation. And I feel like you need all sides to the story, right? There's 3 sides to every story. This one's, that one's, and then the truth. And that's kind of the situation I'm seeing here, which is very bizarre. So I feel like somebody is coming to you and telling you something, and you immediately want to believe them because they're your friend, or because you care about them, because they're somebody that's important to you. But something seems off about what they're telling you, but you don't want to question it. Then you hear a different side of the story from someone else. So now you're stuck between a rock and a hard place trying to choose which story is true. Really, I don't think either one of these people or any of the people you're dealing with right now are telling you the truth. They're all just trying to convince you of their own truth so that you'll be on their side. I don't know what this is about. I don't know what these people are trying to gain. There is a second option that I'm just seeing now, where you are torn mentally between 2 truths. What do you really want to do with your life? Do you want to stay in your comfort zone? Do you want to branch out? Do you want to take chances? Do you want to be excited? Do you want to be rejuvenated and live again? Or are you content to be where you are, where maybe you're not as happy, but you're content, you're comfortable, you're safe, you're good, you know what's coming. And I feel like there's every once in a while, oh my gosh, hold that thought. Every once in a while, it's like one of these is true and the other one isn't. And you have to kind of choose between them. So, okay, New England Dirt Roadie, thank you for telling me that, because what I first said to you makes a lot of sense now. Don't believe everything you hear. If somebody comes to you telling you somebody is who took your stuff, please don't immediately believe them. Get to the bottom of it. Do your own research, your own investigation. Mainly follow your own intuition. You are being misled, or someone is about to mislead you. The fact of the matter is, it's in this person's best interest to lie to you. So you take that how you want it. I can't say for sure that this person, the first person to come clean about somebody else doing it, the first little tattler, isn't the one who took it. But if I were a betting woman, I would say that they either took it or know who did and are trying to, throw you off scent. Do not believe the first thing you hear, especially about this. I'm telling you, something's going to come to light about it. Vixen Doe, that is very possible. They'll probably be returned when you least expect it, or you can ask them to return the items, no questions asked. That's a really good idea. Yeah, I don't know though. There is something, and I swear to you, and I should have just said it, but I have my own insecurities. I was going to say I think it has something to do with work, but I didn't want to say that because I didn't want to make you nervous about work, because I know you already have anxiety about everything else in your life. Just don't believe everything you hear. That's it. Yeah, I know that's kind of the situation I'm seeing. Yeah.
Ready? War criminal.
How many do we have after that?
War criminal. Divine, are you still here, hon? And Lotus, unless you do Guardian Jackpot.
Well, if they want a reading, I'll read for them.
Guardian Jackpot, do you want a reading? I just asked because it's after 10.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's fine. I can barely think straight tonight. I'm just thinking of that shower. I can't wait. All right, so War Criminal, I'm going to use the Moonology Manifestation. A timeline shift. No, somebody definitely took it. All right, Guardian, I got you. I just want to get in the water and use this scrub that Blue Cross Road sent me that I have here that I keep at my mom's. Yeah, it's just so good. It's so good. I can't wash my hair though because I'm dyeing it tomorrow. All right. New moon in Taurus, War Criminal, know your worth. Okay. You are right on track, but you need to go steadily. Knowing that you're worthy of your desires is crucial here. Opportunities open up when you believe in yourself. Dig deep and move past negative comments from others. No matter what happened in the past, if you're aiming to manifest something for the good of everyone concerned, you can absolutely do it. Good self-esteem will also boost your manifesting powers, so love yourself more. War criminal, know your own worth and others will too. Be true to your own values. This card is an especially good sign for matters related to property, possession, sensuality, love, self-belief, and self-worth. Acknowledge and make a list of your best traits. If you find that hard to do, ask a friend to tell you what's great about you. Your manifestation affirmation for the next 2 weeks: I deserve to manifest. I do feel like whether you understand this right in this moment or not, in the next week or two you will, you could fall under some criticism or come under some scrutiny. It's not from people with the best of intentions, though. I'm seeing it kind of like as I see the way people that don't know me at all, have never been in any of my streams, have never spoken to me, come into my chats and troll me. They talk about my crooked teeth. They talk about my hair. They talk about my weight. And it's just like, why? It's like just to be mean because they're losers and have miserable lives and they can't stand to see someone successful. Unfortunately, I do see something like that coming in for you. This is the universe testing you to see if you're going to let it affect you or not. Are you going to let something like this negativity, this kind of drama, stop you from achieving your goals and from doing what you know what is best for yourself? I know it's very easy. I know probably better than anyone in here because of what I do for a living and how I put myself out there, how people can just destroy you mentally, emotionally, with just a couple of words. The universe wants you to be mentally stronger than that, to know without a doubt that you are worthy, you are worth it, and that you can succeed. If you get in your own head, I mentioned in the beginning of this stream how that happened to me last week with people talking about a person, talking about how fast I was writing and putting out my books. And like, it made me question everything. And I'm usually very confident because I've learned to avoid and overcome the trolls. This is the universe saying, if this is really what you want to manifest, there's always going to be pushback. There's always going to be a Karen. There's always going to be someone who is miserable and wants company. Are you sure enough in yourself that you can continue on this path without overthinking, without taking a week out to overthink and think about it? Continue on without any breaks. That's not to say it might not affect you, war criminal, but don't let it affect you to the point where you're in your head and you're not actively pursuing whatever this is, okay? Make sure that you stay on course. Do not be knocked off for anything because I feel you're very close to a precipice of where something is going to happen for you. And I feel like your energy is in that space, that amazing winning space. And some other people are not going to be able to stand to see that because they're miserable people. Feel like and know that you're worth more than what someone you don't even know has to say about you, or someone you don't even care about has to say about you. And I think we can all learn a lesson from that. Who's next?
Okay. Divine is next, but I wanted you to see what she said earlier.
At first, I thought you meant he actually pooped. And I'm like, why would he do that? Oh my God. Guys, I'm sorry. It's been a very long weekend. Anytime, any of you that have channels, I don't have the biggest channel, but I do have a pretty good following now. I will always help you guys with anything that I possibly can. Yeah, I wasn't even being funny. I had to read that like 4 times before I understood what you were saying. I'm like, why would he do what?
You almost got a snort out of her.
Almost. All right, I'm using human spirit. Oh, Deb, maybe your dolls are bored. So, Mom, you're fine. It's Jabberjaws in there. I know. I'm almost done, then I'm going to take a shower. She goes, I'm trying to be quiet. She's standing there in the corner going,
Love you, Mom.
Divine, it's okay. I just was shocked. But you know what? The fact that I would even think that shows you, like, I was just talking about how Cardi B did that on an IG live the other day. So I'm like, what did I miss? Long Island Bigfoot? No, I love helping you guys in any way that I possibly can. You guys should know that. I will. Mom, everyone says hi. Steven, Blue Cross Roads, everybody.
Hello, everyone that said hello.
She said
I
hello.
wish them well and be kind.
She wishes you well and be kind. If you didn't hear her. Vera Way, what's up, sweetie?
Is she gonna make me some meatloaf?
Yeah, sure. Next time you come to visit. All right, Miss Divine, I got to finish up here because I am tired and need a shower, and I have to edit Monday's members video. Vera Way, welcome. Vera Way. Vera Ray. All right. Divine Empathic, you got Manifest Your Miracle, card number 44. You got it in the shadow. This house is so crazy haunted. I can't wait for her to get out of here. My mom is haunted, though. That's what she doesn't understand. No matter where she goes, she's going to, and Damien. So no matter where they go, there's going to be something. All right, Divine. Miracles aren't a thing. Pisha. Have you ever put something into the universe like a thought or a creative idea, then suddenly you're seeing this thought elsewhere or this creative project on someone else's feed? Or perhaps you have bumped into that person you haven't seen in forever, but were just thinking about. Silently in your mind, you set an intention and it traveled through the universe, boomeranging right back to you. This is to let you know the universe is listening and anything with capital letters is possible. Take your hint. Go and manifest the heck out of that miracle. Divine, you're an amazing tarot reader. You're an amazing oracle yourself. I don't need to tell you what this card means. You are very close to manifesting something huge and major. And you know as well as I do, or maybe you don't, that this is when they will come out of the woodwork. Every naysayer, every critic, every know-it-all, every amazing person who could do everything better than you will come out of the woodwork and try to crush you, crush your dreams, crush your goals, crush everything you've created up to this point so you do not reach that pinnacle of success, your own mini miracle. Girl, don't let them. You are doing amazingly big things. You are extremely talented and connected. So there is no reason for you not to continue. This is almost the same reading, unfortunately, as War Criminal. Do not let other people who mean literally nothing to you get into your head, especially not people from your past. I feel like there are people that because they once knew you, when they say things, it hurts worse. Don't let it, because they don't know you now. The reason they knew you is because they were not on your level to continue staying in your life, to remain knowing you. Their opinion doesn't matter. And I don't say that in a cruel, egotistical, conceited type way, like you to S-bomb, but you are. And you should only surround yourself with people that know that, not what are they called? People who just yes you. I guess yes men, I would say, but people that truly believe in your vision. And you know what? If no one else does, you have to be the one to. You're on the precipice of something really big coming to fruition, okay? Divine Empathic, don't let anyone throw you off there. Don't give power back to anyone, first of all, that you've taken it from, especially not right now. This is a major moment in your life. I wouldn't say 2 weeks, but I would say 2 to 4 months. You are manifesting a miracle, but you have to constantly and consistently create it. Okay? You're welcome, sweetie. Vera Ray popped in. I am willing to read for her if she wants one, but we do have to end after that. So It's Guardian Jackpot, Lotus Girl. Guardian Jackpot, Vera Ray, then Lotus Girl.
Do Lotus, and that way I can keep her timestamp.
Okay, sounds good. Guardian Jackpot, I'm going to use the wisdom of the House of Night. Raymond, so true. What does darkness want? To keep you from shining. Guys, I'm going to make it quick when I end tonight. Hit that thumbs up. Thank you. I want to tell you guys that all of my books are for purchase, even Campfire Stories 1, which is an encounter different than Midnight Visitors. Campfire Stories is real encounters that people have had with demons, demonic entities, cryptids, extraterrestrials in the woods. Okay, shadow beings, hat men, all types of stuff. People do Ouija board and camper trailers. Like, I've got it all. The first book, volume 1, is available on Kindle paperback, or no, I'm sorry, it will be tomorrow. The 28th or the 29th, he said. I think the 28th. Probably he said the 29th, because that's Monday. Will be available on Amazon, Kindle paperback, and then eventually by the end of the week, Audible. Campfire Stories Volume 2 is up for pre-order already, okay? And if you haven't gotten Midnight Visitors or Danger at Your Door, please consider purchasing. Thank you, Divine Empathic, and everyone else who's a member. I also want to say my other books, Missing the Faith Theory, Encounters with Evil, Shadow Entities, Sleep Paralysis, and Beyond, are all available Kindle paperback and Audible right now. If you read my books, please rate 5 stars and leave a good review. I want Midnight Visitors to go #1. If I can get a #1 selling book again on my own merit, self-published, that would be amazing. Vera Ray, I'm only doing Lotus as a timestamp because she wasn't able to make it. If you'd like a reading, just let me know. It's not a big deal to take an extra 4 to 5 minutes for you. I honestly don't mind, but it's up to you. Okay. Okay, so Guardian Jackpot and then Lotus, I guess. Ooh, card number 31, the card of risk. My members, thank you guys so much. Don't forget, Monday at noon, the members only video will premiere publicly right after the main video for the channel at 11 a.m. Eastern. It'll be public for about 24 hours. I usually make it private and the members only again right before or after afternoon talk on Tuesdays. Divine Empathic, thank you so much. Yes, looking forward to Urban Legends myself. I'm going to do 3 or 4 campfires because they don't take me long because I already have so many encounters. And then once I do those, I'm going to go back to the longer books. Okay, Guardian Jackpot. My child, you have come to a place where you are being asked to take a risk and try something new and different. Thank you guys for all the donations, PayPal, Cash App, and through here. I really do appreciate it. Rather than worry about how things will turn out, Guardian, why not take a leap of faith? No matter what happens, something important will be experienced. This is a sign that you can prove something to yourself. And when you accomplish it, you'll be proud that you did. Another meaning here is to ask yourself about your next action. Is it worth the risk of taking? If the answer is no, don't take it. If the answer is yes, I will give you wings to fly and catch you if you fall. This symbol also brings a gentle warning. Your risk shouldn't be motivated by boredom. This is a symbol of consequences as well as courage. Guardian Jackpot, this is about taking chances, but not to your detriment, not because somebody else wants you to. The only chances and risks you should be taking, hey, Foxy Joe, are chances and risks about your own life, your own future, and about really manifesting your dream life, achieving your goals, using all of your abilities, not only for your own gain, but for the gain of the collective. I do feel like somebody is going to ask you to do something that maybe you really don't want to do, and you have to weigh risk versus reward. It's okay to ask yourself what's in it for you. How is it going to affect you energetically? And how is it going to affect what you're trying to do with your own life? Okay. Guardian Jackpot, really consider the pros and cons before you do anything for someone else in the next week or 2. Now, as far as yourself, take risks. I feel like in the next week or 2, if something seems too good to be true, take the risk because it's not. This is something that is good and true and amazing. It's going to be scary and it may not be easy, but it's going to be worth that risk. The universe has your back. You've been putting the work in. You've been putting the effort in. Whether you realize it or not, you are manifesting greatness. Keep it up. Keep going. And don't let anyone throw you off your game or get you in any situation that would lower your vibration so that you can't continue with this. You've got this. That's a great message. All right. Our final our final card for tonight for Miss Lotus Girl. And I'm going to use the human spirit for her as well. Yeah, tonight was really great. I feel like the past couple of weeks, it's been really short in and out. So it was so good to see all of you guys and get to hang out. Don't forget, I offer full readings for $20 each to my PayPal or Cash App. And my books. My books are really important to me right now. I'm no longer under a publisher. So I am self-published at this point. And for Danger at Your Door to go #1, my first self-published book, and to beat out someone in the industry who has done some stuff to me was really cool. I can't lie, it did feel good. So, all right, Miss Lotus Girl. Casey, thank you for coming in and chatting. All of you guys, thank you so much. Vera Ray, it was so good to see you. Foxy Joe, if you come in before 10 Eastern next week, you are welcome to a reading. And since it's your first reading, you won't even have to wait. Darling Deb, thank you guys. If you bought my book, it takes 1 second to go on Amazon and rate it 5 stars and give it a good review. That keeps it in sight of anyone coming on looking for books. So that means my book Midnight Visitors can still go to #1, even though it's about 2 weeks released. It's up to you guys now. It's in your hands. Lotus Girl, you got No Strings Attached, card number 35. In the upright, our first upright card in this deck of the night. Lotus Girl, look at you giving freely of yourself, no strings attached. What a wonderful thing, giving without the expectation of receiving in return. When you're able to do this, it's truly an authentic act. And when we live in authenticity, we create room for others around us to do so too. You truly give from the heart with no expectation of return. This has become such a rarity these days. What a beautiful human you are. That's the message, Lotus. Expect great things. Continue doing what it is you're doing. Listen, though, do not give too much of yourself to people who don't give back. When it comes to energy, we have to try as best as we can to give with reciprocity. So if we're constantly giving to a person, to a situation, to a relationship, to a situationship that is not transmuting and giving back in kind, we're wasting energy forever. We will never get that energy back, right? Also, Lotus, be sure to give to yourself. Okay, you can't only do for others. Self-care, I've said it a billion jillion times. I make up words. You have to put yourself first. Self-care is not selfish. And I feel like if you can continue to be good to yourself, as good or better to yourself as you are to others, the more and the faster you're going to be manifesting for yourself and for those around you that you love and that love you, for the collective of your family, meaning your soul family, your energetic family, and your actual blood family. Guys, I love you all. Don't forget to check out my books, my main channel, 11 a.m. Eastern and 12 p.m. Eastern, 1 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon Eastern for afternoon talk with myself and Ghost Dragons. And if you need me, Gemma Jade Paranormal at gmail.com. Good night.